Good morning. Right. Look at the people who braved the massive blizzard. Does anybody watch WCCO? No. No, nobody. Okay, this is good. They're doing well on their ratings, apparently. But somebody was pointing out to me, and I hadn't really noticed it before, but they said, you watch Care 11, you watch all these others, but if you watch WCCO, any snowflake is like the end of the world. And they really sensationalize it. Does anybody remember the WCCO ball? Like the old one that would tell you the weather? Yeah. We used to have one of those in Mankato too. I have one at home. That's just a rock. It's like if the rock is wet, it's raining. If the rock is white, it's snowing. Yeah. Anyway, so glad that you guys were able to brave this storm and be with us. We've got a bunch of people tuned in online as well. So hi, everybody. Should we all give them a hi, everybody? They can't see you, but anyway, we've got a fun morning planned, and really what we want to do with this, as you know, Brian's over here. We love being on the water. We're like born and raised on the water. I always say in the Atwood family, you get your birth certificate and your real estate license the same day, and then a few days later they start training you on boats. Basically, we love being on the water, and so as we started theming everything a few years back, we decided that our theme was going to be around nautical, because we are just a crew working together, keeping the ship going, right? And being a company that is, what are we, 156 years now? Y'all know that? 156 years. It's founded in 1867. I don't math well, so if somebody says, is that right? She'll work on it for me. But we've weathered literally every storm. Our company's been through 2 world wars. Our company's been through a Great Depression, a Great Recession, and whatever this market is, we'll find out someday. And it really is it has less to do with what the storm is and how well the crew handles it, right? And so when we were theming this, we said, we need to chart our course for the next year. We'll call it Navigate. And then I hope you're all coming this February 28th, March 28th. Thank you. We're going to try to avoid another blizzard. March 28th. We'll have launch, where we launch the ship and we celebrate you. We give awards. We'll do all of that fun stuff. Also, if you haven't heard, big news, the president and CEO of Century 21 Global will be joining us right here over at the Metropolitan Ballroom to celebrate with us as well. Today we have an amazing, incredible coach, real coach with us here, Adam South. Hi, Adam. Hey. So you'll be hearing a lot of wisdom from him, but I decided that before you get wisdom, you have to put up with me first. So you'll get me here for a few minutes. I also want to give you a sneak peek into what we're focusing on here for the next year. I can do this. I should have had you do this, Carla. First of all, did everyone order their lunch? No? Okay. Well, scan the QR code if you want to place your order quick, or I think Annalise also sent the link. Yeah. Otherwise, they're pretty quickish too. You'll be able to order when you get out there. Just make sure you select like 12:30. So when you want your meal ready. Cool. Okay, here's what we're going to run through today, and we're already late. That's great. Okay, I've got 5 seconds before I'm supposed to be on bullet point number 3. So we're the sneak peek I'm going to give you is what we call 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to get into mindset. And I'm just going to breeze through a lot of stuff really, really quickly, because I really want you to hear from this guy, Adam South. He's incredible. So he'll lead us through a couple of things. We'll take an hour lunch break. And we'll just gather right out here and just kind of hang out. It's a really cool gathering space. Then we'll come back in, we'll do some social media stuff. It looks like Adam also included a lot of our nautical things, which is great. And then we'll really get into the goal setting. And what we're going to do this year is everyone will tell us what their goals are. I want to be very clear. Our company never has been, and as long as we're in charge, it never will be, where we're telling you what our goals are and how you support ours. That's not what we're here for. You tell us what your goals are, and we'll figure out how to support yours. That's what we're about. Even if it's, hey, I want to scale down my business and work toward retirement. Great. How do we support you? I want to get more listings. Great. How do we support you? I never want to work with a first-time home buyer ever again. Great. How do we support you? That's what we're about. So you tell us your goals so that we can align what we do every day to support you. Sound good? All right. So let's talk about the 3-2-1. I love this. This is something that Century 21 Corporate has worked with us on and talked to us about. And you'll remember for a hot minute, there was a lot of that relentless. We're the relentless. There was that relentless tone. You remember that campaign? It was great. But a lot of us, especially in Minnesota, went, we're relentless and quiet, right? We're relentless, but we don't tell people we're relentless. We're relentless, and then we go home and close the door and go, but that's not how we show ourselves every day. And Century 21 got that feedback, and they shifted an entire national marketing campaign around the feedback that they received from us. I've been traveling a lot this year. It seems like every time somebody reaches out, I was just talking to Leslie. I was flying and I did that thing. I was trying to be on their Wi-Fi and it screwed up all sorts of things. 2 days after I landed, I got 3 voicemails from while I was flying. It was crazy. But anyway, I've been traveling a lot lately because I've been with Section 21. I've been there. I've been working with Adam and other people that are really incredible minds. And what's so cool about their culture is I could text Tori, the head of marketing, right now, and she'd get back to me probably within 10 minutes. I could text Mike Needler, the president and CEO of the global operation. He'd probably get back to me here. They're people who want to help us. And it feels very similar to what I was just describing, right? They're asking me, what are your goals, Matt? And I'll say, well, I'll get back to you because I got to talk to my agents. So they created this cool thing called 3-2-1. Instead of relentless, we're going to focus on 3 things: empowerment, growth, and my favorite word, joy. And this next year, all of 2026 is going to be about joy. The theme for 2026 is whatever you do, do it with joy. Okay? We know this is a hard industry. We know that this gets hard. I think we all had a lot of joy when we first got into it, right? Just get into it. You got a lot of joy, right? Your joy bucket is full. It's top. Your joy bucket full? Absolutely. Absolutely. George, your joy bucket full?
Amen.
Amen. We're going all in on this thing. We've got like little gifts for you coming up at launch. Everything's focused on joy because joy is not something you wait to have happen to you. Joy is something you bring into the world. It's a mindset. And so we're gonna really focus on that. And I'll get into this in a little bit, but you'd be amazed at how little things can change your world. And I'll get into that here in a second. So let's start with empowerment. With the right tools and support. By the way, I know we have a lot of tech and a lot of tools, and sometimes it's like, I don't even know where to begin. So we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about tools and tech today. But with the right tools and support of those tools, you can enhance your productivity and effectiveness. 2 is growth. Exclusive knowledge and progressive learning programs help you go from where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow. And joy. Be surrounded by a culture that lets you experience the joy of what you do and who you do it for. Who here has clients? Everybody has clients, right? You all have clients. Some people say, well, I have past clients. No, they're still your clients. There's no such thing as past clients, right? You all have clients. And so we want you to be able to
serve them with joy. Carla, who are your clients? Annalise, who are your clients? Linda? Yeah, Kevin? You're our clients. And it is a joy to serve you, and I want to serve you with joy. All right. So we're going to breeze through a few of these things, but we are here to help you with your goals. And sometimes we're going to say, there's a tool that will help you with that. I know you all reach out to Carla and go, help. And she just does amazing, amazing, amazing things. And then I get to talk to her like, well, I was going to say once a week, but I think we talk every day. And so it's almost like I'm living vicariously through Carla to you. So I know all of your problems. She tells me. It's great. But the golden ruler, who's using it? 2 people. Yes, this is great. This is going really well. We're going to show you, not today, but we're going to show you how you can utilize these tools to be so empowered, and keep listings, keep clients, gain new ones. We've had people just share it with their current seller, and that seller was so impressed they told somebody else who canceled their listing and brought it over to Session 21. Just an incredibly powerful tool. Boost, I talked about in the Mankato sales meeting a few weeks ago, but Boost is a way to get your stuff out in front of a lot of people and capture a lot of leads, right? We all want that TV commercial, don't we? We all want that billboard. In other words, you just take a bucket of money and throw it out the window and hope somebody finds it. Like Boost, and I sometimes get people saying, well, I haven't seen a Section 21 corporate like TV ad in a while. Yeah, I mean, they're there, but it's kind of a waste of money, to be honest. We don't market like we used to. You have the ability now through AI and algorithms to, instead of throwing a bucket of money out the window, go, that person right there is 90% likely to sell their home within the next 6 months, and go hand them $1. And now they're with you. So are you going to see it? By the way, should Section 21 or should Atwood spend a lot of money so you all see ads? How ridiculous. There's tools available like Boost that will put it in front of the people most likely to buy. And there's some that do this kind of cool thing. They'll make it focus on your current seller's listing so that they see how much you're advertising. Anyway, it's crazy. We got the MoxieWorks product suite that, I don't want to name names, but we had an agent that spent upwards of $30,000 on a website, like major investment, like I'm going to go all in. And then a year later, just dumped it and moved over to Moxie because it was performing better. And I hate saying this word, it's free, because you are investing in it, right? So anyway, use those tools. And then with growth, we have things like Central 21 University. We're going to focus a lot on that here in the next year. And I get it. I've heard people say, yeah, but there's just so much. It's like the Mall of America of learning. You go in there and you just don't even know what store to start in, right? Or at least that's how I feel. I walk in, I'm like, where do I even go? Oh, I'll just go ride Camp Snoopy. I mean, not Camp Snoopy, whatever it is. It's always going to be Camp Snoopy to me. But there's just so much, it's overwhelming. So they've taken that feedback, they've really drilled down into pathways for you, but we're also we heard your feedback, do them as group sessions as well, so that we can all come together and learn together as a group. So, and as I mentioned, there's personalized learning journeys now too that they've built in, which is pretty neat. And then lastly, joy. We do that. Who was at launch last year over at the ballroom? Was that such a joyful event? We had so much fun, just tons of awards and giving things out and just hanging out with people. I had an absolute blast. I think it was my favorite event we've done so far. We have networking events. Anyone signed up, Leslie, for 121? Almost signed up. You just have to hit the button, or what? Do it. Leslie, I didn't mean to spend so much time on this, but Leslie, who else has been in 121? Pete? Oh yeah, Pete has, of course. Okay.
You went one time, and while we were there, did you feel like, well, one and done, or did you feel like I'm definitely going to see it every time, right? It's one of those things where you feel connected to something bigger than yourself, and it's awesome. It's so much fun, and dinner and drinking with Matt is always fun, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. The most recent time I did that was with Adam, and then somehow we ended up at a bar singing around a piano. Was I not supposed to say that? I should have read your contract. Anyway, but here's what brings me the most joy. I get to hear those stories vicariously through Carla of things that are happening every single day, and it brings me a lot of joy. But if I zoom out for a second, I can look at the fact that we have a 98% client recommendation rating. That's the highest in industry. Thank you.
Yeah.
98% client satisfaction. We're averaging 24 homes bought or sold every hour of every day in the Century 21 system, and it's about to get bigger. And I think this is the coolest. Nationwide polling, Century 21 is the leader in future consideration among consumers. More people are ready to transact with Century 21 than any other brand in the country. It's pretty awesome. So we're going to work on your goals and how do we capture that for you. Did I have another one, Carla? I think that was it. Okay. So let me switch to something else here, and I'm going to breeze through these pretty quickly. So bear with me. Did that work? Sure didn't.
Looks good to me.
Our next launch party, everyone. We're going. What is that, Alaska or something? I don't know. Nope, it's not there. Try it again. There we go. We got it. Okay. So what time does Adam start? Half an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. So my goal in the next 30 minutes is to do three things. Recalibrate. We all come into this room with different pasts and different emotions and different places in our career. We're going to run through a few ways where we can kind of recalibrate ourselves, refocus. There's a lot going on in the industry that pulls us into different directions. And then third, just reimagine. No matter what brought us into this industry, sometimes we forget that imagination that we started with. So I'm going to open up with a question. Shout it out. Just shout it out. What's the one thing that could hold you back from achieving your goal in 2026? Laziness. Dan, go pick out a swag. Does Dan deserve swag?
Being lazy.
Never mind. Go you. It was the same. He's lazy.
Negative industry news.
Yes. Okay, I have a question for you. How many people get asked at the grocery store, at kids' ball games? This happens to me at every kids' ball game. I was in Northfield for a basketball tournament, and somebody literally, I didn't even know who they were. Like, so how's the market doing? I was like, how do you know who I am? Apparently, I should have known who they were. But how many people get asked like all the time about the market? I have two things. One, how amazing is it that people want to know from us all the time how our career is going? I always relate this to like accountants. I'm never going to lean over at my kid's basketball game and be like, so what do you do, numbers that you guys have created, or what's new with accounting? Has math changed at all? Right? How awesome is it that people want to know? What an opportunity we all have. Okay, second thing, how many to go? It's not right. It's not, it's okay. I mean, to be honest, right? No? Or are you like, it's the best market that there's ever been? Now is it? No, we're not, right? So my point is that what if that person was like, I'm thinking about selling my house, but I don't know. Maybe I'll see them at the basketball game and I'll just so how's the market? And you're like, it's pretty slow. Oh, geez. We are also that news. So we have to let people know. I mean, don't know if open promise and under deliver, but we have to cascade that
this is not trading stocks. This is totally different. We have to sometimes elevate people out of the mindset that this is just a stock deal and that this is also a personal deal. Okay, there wasn't going to be three, but three. How awesome is it that we get to not just, everyone talks about the biggest financial, for most people, the biggest financial investment that they'll ever make. But yeah, okay, that's cool. But this is where they're going to, kids, have grandkids, have Thanksgiving dinners, go home after their kid goes away to college and feel that empty. There's so much emotion tied to their home, and they're letting us be a part of that. That's
I'm emotional. I'm going to cry if I keep talking about it. Anybody else? What's one thing that's going to hold you back from achieving your goal in 2026? Karen? Not making new contacts. Absolutely. What's that?
Make it a goal.
Not making a goal.
Health.
Health? Yep. All right.
Listening to negative news.
Listening to negative news. Don't let it affect you.
just laugh at them.
Like, ha, you don't know anything. And I can watch in the same hour, and one network is saying this could be the best year in real estate we've seen in a long time, and the next one will say we're about to head into a depression. It's, WCCO. All right. So the first thing I want to, and I'm gonna go quick here. So buckle up. Number one, you have to take control. Don't let this business happen to you. How many feel like the market's happening to them? How many people feel like this business is happening to you? What if you just woke up every morning and said, I'm going to happen to this market? This market isn't ready for George. Right, George? What if you happen to the market? Dan, Fox, what do you do for a living?
Is that a trick question?
What do you do for a living? So I see you. Hey, Dan, just met you. What do you do for a living?
Well, I have my real estate license.
Okay. Hey, okay. Hey, then what do you do for a living?
I tell people I'm a realtor.
Okay. What do you do for a living, right?
Still real estate.
Sell real estate. That's a good answer. And what do people normally go? Look, I don't want them to sell me something. What if instead you said, whatever it takes? Well, what do you mean? I do whatever it takes. I just happen to do real estate, but I am the type of person that does whatever it takes. Now, how many can it say that? I do whatever it takes. All of your hands should be up because I've seen you do it. Right? I've seen deals start to fall apart, and Carla and Kevin and Linda are calling me and going, okay, so-and-so has this issue and it's about to fall apart. And then it all just, I say, yeah, but they got it because they do whatever it takes. Doesn't matter what interest rates are doing, commissions are doing. Remember that lawsuit that was going to destroy our industry? Remember that thing? Anybody hear about it? Did it destroy anything? No. You remember when iBuyers came out? Oh my gosh, iBuying is going to get rid of the agent altogether. Did anything change? It changed for Zillow. They lost like $1 billion. Here's another thing you can do. Anyone ever feel like you're just in a slump? You're just like overwhelmed by something? You've got that deal that's falling apart, or you're just, you lost out on a listing, and feel that way? It's okay. We're in a safe space here, guys. Okay? You can tell me. Okay, here's my trick. I just hit reset. And sometimes for me, that's a physical thing that needs to happen to refocus. Annalisa's seen this happen. I close my door. I get out of a rough meeting. I get out of something that went wrong. So I really feel through you, Carla. Like, oh my gosh, this thing just happened to Pete. Oh, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and then I get depressed. It didn't even happen to me, but that's how I am. And I close my door and I just clean my office. I clean my desk, and because it's something I can accomplish right now and feel good about right now. And then I come out of that and I'm ready to go back into the day. And it took me 5 minutes. Make your bed. Do something that just makes you feel like you've accomplished it, you've organized, and then hit that reset button. Just take 5 minutes to do it.
You have total control. And somebody starts to come knock on my door, and Annalise jumps out of her office and tackles him. Don't, he's cleaning his desk. Okay, next thing, know your tools. So I know it gets overwhelming. There's so many tools. There's so much technology. There's so much, and there's even more coming. And it's gonna be great. We'll teach you through it and everything. But Brian, remember in the house on Buckingham, which we lived in the palace? No. There was a cul-de-sac, and it was called. There were two cul-de-sacs. One was called Buckingham, and one was called Manchester. I don't know. The developer thought that was cute. When we were living in Buckingham House, but when we were living on Buckingham Court, in the garage was this tall, but we were so little. But anyway, it was this big cabinet thing with the two doors, and Dad had just tools like you wouldn't believe. Just tools and tools and tools and tools and tools. I don't even know what most of them were. I'm not sure he did, but he had all these tools. And he would sometimes say, hey, run out to the garage, grab me this. Run out to the garage, grab me this. He brought us out and he showed us what every single tool was. Well, that one's still in the box. You haven't even used it. Yeah, but someday I'm going to need it. Right? Tools and tools and tools and tools. Did he use every single tool for every single job? But because he knew the tools, he knew exactly which tool he needed to get that job done the most efficiently and effectively. Right? He didn't say, hey, I have to screw this into the wall, so go get me a hammer and we'll just whack away at it for a while. It's not the most efficient tool. So know your tools. We're gonna work on that this next year. By the way, it's you saying, hey, can you help me with this? Hey, can we join a class on that? Right? We're here to meet your goals. Here's one thing that I think is incredible. And it could be cleaning your desk, but in the transaction that you do all the time, what if you were phenomenal at the little things? We all try to do the big things, the big tasks, but there's a lot of little things that sometimes they feel small. And so we just go, whatever. But if you are so good at owning the little things, big things all just come together. So own the details, own the little things. You ever been to a restaurant that you had like the best steak you've ever had in your life, right? But the plate just looked like a mess. No. When they have a quality steak, they're also focusing on every little detail on that plate. It's about the presentation, because you know that if that plate looks good, this is probably going to be a good steak. So own those details. Here's one thing that drives me crazy all the time. Agents say, oh, do you know how much that billboard cost me? Do you know how much I've spent on marketing this year? Do you know how much I spent on that listing? Do you know how much I spent on that buyer? If it's for your business, stop saying spend. Stop, take it out of your mouth and throw it on the floor and stomp on it until it's dead. Don't ever say that word again. Instead, say invest. It'll change your mindset. It'll do something incredible. Do you know how much I invested in that buyer? Oh, it's incredible. They're probably going to refer you a lot. Do you know how much I invested in marketing? Because if it's for your business, it's not spending, it's investing, right? And if you want help on how we can better increase your ROI, your return on your investment, let us know. Somebody tell me about a time you failed. Come on, get free swag that you do.
I wish I looked like him.
How much time do I get? Tell me a quick story about something you failed.
Somebody gave me a referral.
Yeah.
And I figured this is a done deal. I'll just sign it later.
Yeah.
And somebody else came in and took me. So that hurt.
That probably has happened to like everyone, right? You just thought it was a done deal, and then you didn't give it everything you should have, and then somebody else comes in and takes it.
Right.
That happened to me. It was like and it was a guy at church. He talked to me for like a year about like, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a home. I'm thinking about selling mine for like a year. Now I was just ready to refer him to one of our agents, but and then he walked into an open house. That person said, oh, well, let me take a look at what you've got. I can tell you what it might sell for. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then next thing he knows, he's signing something, and now he's working with her. I thought it was a done deal. I was gonna get my agents some business and they were gonna love me and give me a hug. That's all I live for is hugs.
I launched when MLS had rentals on the market, I thought it would be a good idea to reach out to renters, thinking I could get, half of the placement commission and then develop relationships. I didn't foresee that the whatever property managers were going to offer 10% or less for tenant placement.
And it felt like a failure to you.
I learned from it.
Yes! Yes! Get some swag.
Well,
Did you learn from it?
I sure did.
Yes! Go get some swag. I'm serious. All right.
I feel like I fail when somebody sends me a link to another. Like a client sends me a link from another website or another agent that is obviously attentive enough to send them things. I mean, ultimately, I'm glad they came to me, but I suffer from waiting for the perfect way to set people up in portals. And meanwhile, I don't, and then that happens. That feels like a failure, for sure. Ultimately.
Carla and I talked about this. It's spooky how similar you and I are sometimes. Did you learn from it?
Learning.
Yes! Get some swag! Come on, Leslie. Okay, here's the thing. I live in this. Carla is my, marketing and therapist. I live in this all the time. Where I'm like, oh, I failed. Oh, I failed. Oh, I failed. Right. And I've seen it start to, go on to my kids because they learn from us, don't they? And so like, oh, I failed. I'm like, oh, I have to change my own mindset because I can see it in them and I don't see it in myself. So, new mindset for everybody. There are no failures. There are only outcomes. It's just an outcome of this particular circumstance. And then you learn from it and you do it again.
Right? We've all heard the stories of how many times people have failed over and over and over again and then became a billionaire.
I'm still waiting for his death check. But let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, if you don't know, I had this a cappella group. I was really cool. Still am. I was really cool. I started an a cappella group with my best friend, his older brother, and we did really big gigs like birthday parties and sing the national anthem at a local baseball game. They didn't even ask us. We just walked out. And so we did, little things here and there. But to support myself, because that wasn't paying any bills, I remember the first time we got a $500 check from the opening of Shields in Mankato. They paid us $500 to come sing in their lobby for their grand opening. $500, there's 5 of us, so we each got $100 to sing for 6 hours. So anyway, I'm working at Best Buy. I was such a Best Buy fanboy, because I love technology and other things, and it was just a cool culture. So I'm working at Best Buy, and they had this thing where they said, when people come through your checkout counter, we need you to get them to subscribe to either Entertainment Weekly or Sports Illustrated. What does this have to do with them buying technology here? Well, Best Buy got a kickback, whatever. So we need all the cashiers to get people to subscribe to Entertainment Weekly or Sports Illustrated. And they give us a script. And I followed that script because I'm a rule follower, right? I'm a Capricorn, guys. Okay. I'm a rule follower. And so I followed the script exactly. And I would end my day with 0 subscriptions. And they said, by the way, we're doing something cool. Best Buy is going to rent out an entire Royal Caribbean cruise ship. And all these, it's like our annual party for the whole country. And from each region, whoever gets the most magazine subscriptions gets to go on the cruise. And I was like, this has happened. I am going on a cruise. Give me a goal and I will figure it out. And I was getting nothing. And they gave us this little sheet of 8 boxes that you had to try to fill with subscriptions in your 8-hour shift. So you should hopefully get 1 an hour. And I was getting 1 or 2. I'm following the script, and one night I'm laying in bed and every conversation is playing through my head because I'm feeling like a failure, right? getting them either, but I'm like, what am I doing wrong? And so I changed my script. Instead of saying like, by the way, before I complete your transaction, you can subscribe to either this or this. Are you interested in either of these today? No. I wouldn't even get that much out. Be like, by the way, no. Okay. No, all the books from the 90s, all the sales book, make them say no 3 times. They'd be like, I'm like, okay. So I changed my script and I went, all right, with this purchase today, you qualify for this magazine or this magazine. Which one do you want? Oh, really? Oh, I'll take that one. And I was averaging like 25, 30 a day. I was asking for more sheets. I was filling them out like crazy because I took away the yes or no and made it a this one or this one. No, it wasn't an answer. I figured it out and I was so far ahead in my region. It was insane. In fact, they asked my manager to come watch me to make sure I wasn't like just signing people up without their consent. Like that, we're like, this can't be right. So I figured it out. I cracked the code. I was like, I did it. My dad gave me a audio cassette. Remember those things that you stick the pencil in and right? And it was all on sales. And I just implemented something that I had learned from that. And that's what it was. It's just take away the no answer. Just, okay, which one do you want? This one or this one? Like that one. Great. I got so many. I was so in first place in the whole region. I was going to win that cruise. Except the manager was also dating one of the other cashiers. And they disqualified me because I had an unexcused absence one day because Home Free, my acapella group, got a gig in Iowa and there was a blizzard and I didn't make it back in time. And I was like, hey, I'm not going to make it back. That's unexcused. And so they disqualified me from the whole 6-month thing because I had one. Well, it wasn't really a rule. He made it a rule so his girlfriend could come with him on the cruise. Okay.
The cruise is like a year away. And I'm just like, you know what? I don't even know if I can work at Best Buy anymore. I feel like the politics of this thing just, the cruise is like a year away.
An agent sees us while we're on tour. Well, not tour. It was like our little mini tour. We were at Lakeville South High School. And an agent sees us and goes, you guys are pretty good. I want to get you more gigs. And we're like, okay, sounds good. Pay him 10%, whatever. And he calls one day, he said, I have great news. I've got you a gig on a Royal Caribbean ship. I shit you not. I took this picture. I'm walking across the gangplank, and all of a sudden I realize it's the Best Buy cruise. By the way, the manager was there. His girlfriend, they broke up. That's the cruise I was supposed to win in the first place. So while I felt like this massive failure, it was really just an outcome of circumstance. And I ended up getting the cruise anyway, and I got paid to be there.
By the way, I took about 6,000 pictures of like everything that was, I'm like, ha ha ha, you guys. So anyway, don't focus on the failure, focus on the outcome because it will always come back to you if you have the right mindset. All right, let me breeze through these. One of my favorite sayings, write this down. You ready? Price is only an issue. Your price, your commission price, the price of the home, what people want to pay you, price is only an issue in the absence of value. I will pay more for something, the same thing, if I don't have to go into Walmart. Right? Because Target gives me a little bit better value. It might be more expensive with that. The problem is we all focus on price. Is my commission lower than the other person? Is the price of the home lower than the? We just have to work on value. Sell people on value. And they actually want that more, believe it or not. Otherwise, Target won't exist.
Let's read out of The Millionaire Next Door, Dr. Thomas Stanley. Millionaires focus on value.
You're buying us the book? I haven't read it.
You can watch a YouTube recreation.
Okay.
How does that work?
They do summaries on YouTube.
Are you acting it out?
Book sale.
Can we film you just acting out the whole thing?
You ever read The Millionaire Next Door?
Millionaire Next Door.
They study people with $10 million or more and how they got their wealth.
Dean's starting a book club.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be fun.
It's about that book.
You guys, a book club.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's about
Oh yeah, that one's a good one. Okay, so when people ask why you're worth 6 or 7 or 12%, you can confidently say it's because you're with a local brokerage, knows the market better. You're backed by the power of a global brand, the most recognized brand in real estate. It's not about how much you cost, it's about how much money you're making them. And when you come together, nobody in the market can put more money in their pocket than you can. And then ask them, by the way, did you want your listing to go live on Thursday or Friday? Not, so will you work with me? Take away the yes, no. Do you want your listing to go live on Thursday or Friday? Assume the sale, right? That's like out of every book. Assume the sale. Do you want your listing to go live on Thursday or Friday? All right. Unfortunately, we live in a society that only focuses on perception, right? You all see that every single day? We live in a society that only focuses on perception. We all live in perception. The problem is you don't live in reality. You live in your reality. So when you're working out differences or problems with people, you're both working out of your own perception, which doesn't help you relate to either of them. Perspective is what takes you out of you. So get yourself out of your world and focus on perspective instead of your perception. Anyone have kids? Try this with them sometime. They're acting out. They're being irrational. My youngest, I just have to feed him and then everything is better. But they're being irrational. And they're living in their perception of what reality is for them. And they don't know how to control these emotions. So you say, knock it off. You're being crazy. And then it fixes everything. Anyone have a spouse? Try that. Just say, calm down. Works every time. Yep. What if instead you got down on their level and you said, it looks like you're having some really big feelings. Is that right? I can see how frustrated you must feel when that happens. And it's okay to have those feelings. I have them too sometimes. Do you need a hug? It's Matt's love language, hugs. And then while you're hugging them, squeeze them in tight and just whisper, do you want your listing to go live on Thursday or Friday? It makes everything better, I promise. Okay, everyone watch these movies, right? Everyone has this belief that if you go back in time travel movies, and you change one little thing, you step on an ant, you do one little thing, and then you go back to your present day, and the whole future has changed, right? You've all seen these movies, right? And we all kind of have that belief, like, oh, I would never want to go back, because what if I did something so minute that it completely changed the reality of the future I come back to? And yet, almost no one has the belief that if you do something small right now, it can have profound effects in the future. Like, we don't believe that for now, but we think if we go back in time, it could really change our future, right? So think it's kind of going back to owning the details, but think about the little things that you can do right now, the easy things. We all focus on those big goals, those big tasks, but what if there was something really little that we can focus on that can have dramatic effects on the future? Sorry, I'm kind of just running through this. Are you all on the same team? That's like really convincing. Just move on. Is everyone on the same team?
Yes.
Everyone stand up. Are you all on the same team?
Yes.
Find someone that you think is as strong as you.
Linda.
Linda. I can't say this again. Carlin.
What did he say?
Hair up. Hair up.
George, you want to be my partner?
Everyone palm to palm with your partner. All right.
All right, Jamie.
Okay.
See, palm to palm with your partner. Okay, the goal is if I stop it. If I touch it's not as strong as you. That's anyway. If I can touch his shoulder, I win. If he can touch mine, he wins. Ready? Go. Go. Okay, pause. Who won? Can you two come up here? In my instruction, did I ever say push? I just said, if you can touch their shoulder, you win. If they could, are you on the same team?
Yeah.
What does teamwork look like, guys? That's how we win as a team. Just ask you, are you all on the same team? And then you're competing against each other. Because we're all on the same team, we're here to help each other win every single day. And we do it like that. You take one, I'll take one. You take one, I'll take one. You take one, I'll take one. And I see it happen. I mean, it was like the day after we made St. Louis Park, Central 20 and Atwood, there was already a transaction in New between two people. So it's an incredible thing. By the way, we're all on the same team, but I hear a lot of talk about our competitors. I talk about our competition. You all do it. Come on, nod your head. We talk a lot about our competition. You guys don't have competition. You realize that? You don't have competition because nobody in this marketplace is Dan Baker. Dean, George, nobody is you guys. Karen? No, nobody, right? So how can they be your competitor if they're not you? You have competition. No, you have competitors, but you don't have competition. Okay? You have competitors in your marketplace, but it ain't a competition. Let me just breeze through here quick. Okay, we're going to talk about our goals. I want you to know that goals are the minimum, not the maximum. We don't hit our goal in September, be like, oh, great, and then leave. That's just our minimum. And we're going to talk about that this afternoon. Then we're going to talk about playing a different game. This is why I say you have competitors, but it ain't a competition. Anyone heard of Simon Sinek? Yep. Love Simon Sinek. I watch everything he does. I think he's great. Great mind. And he talks about how he was invited, he's a motivational speaker and things, he was invited to go speak for a conference for Microsoft. And he said, I watched executive leader after executive leader after executive leader come up on stage and talk about how they're going to beat Apple. This is the year Microsoft beats Apple. And it was their laser focus, and they got the crowd roaring and excited, and it's all their employee conference, and boy, that is their thing. Every single person that took the stage talked about how they were going to beat Apple. It just so happened that a few months later, he was asked to speak at an Apple event. And leader after leader after leader took the stage and said, how do we better help teachers teach? How do we better help students learn? How can we use our technology to actually improve people's lives? How can we use our technology to help improve people's health? Because one was about their competition and the other was about their mission. And if we focus on our mission, it ain't a competition. Who cares what they're doing? We have a mission that no matter what we do it with joy. And we bring joy to the people every single day that we get to work with. All right. I think yep. Okay, one more thing, and I'm going to breeze through this. I'm not going to go fully into the golden circle, but we are going to focus on how we start thinking
inside out instead of outside in. Most people in the marketplace, most agents out there, they all say the same thing. Here's what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. I'm going to list your home and I'm going to market it. Great, you have a real estate license. Okay? Think about it like this. If all of Apple's messaging was, here's a laptop we made and we used recycled materials, buy it from me. Are you motivated? Probably not. So Simon Sinek, again, he talks about this golden circle that talks about what if we talk from the inside out? And the thing that gets people to move is their why. Most people talk this way. Here's what I have. Here's how I'm going to do it. If you talk from the outside or from the inside out, it has a different feeling. It has a different message. Let me breeze through this. It also just happens to correlate to the way our brain works. The outside of our brain blocks a lot of things. The inside is where the emotion lives, okay? That's why you see those pop-up ads. Buy one, get one free, or buy in the next 5 minutes and this deal will be gone. And people are like, oh, FOMO. What if those instead said, hey, we made a laptop and it's made out of recyclable things. Anybody going to buy? What if it said, we believe our planet deserves better. That's why we use all recyclable materials. Oh yeah, I get around that because I also believe that, right? You get people to where they believe things and they're ready to sign. So I'm going to give you 3 sales pitches with an outside-in approach that you hear every single day. We offer superior real estate services. We do this by training our agents and utilizing technologies built specifically for the real estate industry. Let us sell your property today. Everyone motivated? That's a commercial you hear like all the time, right? All the time. That's 99% of what's out there. Here's a new ad that we're putting out today. We have the MLS. We use it to show you homes. Please don't use Zillow. Come buy with us today. Everyone's motivated, right? How about we offer jobs in real estate. We're really growing a lot and our people seem nice. So come work with us today. Everyone motivated, right? But that's what you hear every single day. That's what this is. That's all that is. But what if we flipped the script and said, here at Century 21 Atwood, we believe in constant evolution. We believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in the relentless pursuit of enriching people's lives, even if it's not through a sale. And we believe we can do more together than we ever could apart. We deliver extraordinary services by affiliating professionals who dedicate themselves to continued training, implementation of technology, nurturing relationships, and who possess these core values deep within their DNA. Integrity, teamwork, compassion, perseverance to grow relationships and change lives. Does that like feel different to you? We just happen to do real estate. So let's not talk about we do real estate. Let's talk about what we believe in and how that enriches and changes lives, even if it's not through a sale. So that's my challenge as I close this out. Think about in 2026, how do you, with the power that you have, an incredible power, change somebody's life, enrich their life, and bring them joy, even if it's not through a sale. Don't worry about the sale. Because what will fill your bucket more is knowing that you brought joy to somebody than not doing a great job in getting a commission check. I promise. Cool. I have someone way smarter that wants to talk to you. Adam, come on up.
Adam? Oh,
Yeah. Everybody, Adam! Do you want me to?
Should be giving it up for Matt one more time.
Do you want me to pull your thing up now, or?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
I only brought one slide because I want to have some fun and get you guys to talk. But I figured I'd introduce myself a little bit first, of course. Anybody ever gone into Century 21 University? You know, one of those tools. A couple of you have. Love it. Taking any classes?
We're working on that.
The university? Crazy. not just shop class, everybody. Well, I work with the Century 21 University Learning Team. If you don't know what that team looks like, it's the amazing Wendy Crane. She's our vice president of learning. My partner in crime, Cassie Gallego. In fact, some of the tools and products that you do have available to you, Cassie, for a long time was helping enlighten everybody in how to use them and do what Matt was talking about, which was know your tools, right? Get into that cabinet that he was talking about and learn what they can do for you. And in my role, I also lead what we call, he called me the Real Coach, the Real Coaching organization. So, or not organization, but initiatives. And what that means is through all of that fancy names I just said, all it means is I get to connect with a lot of real estate entrepreneurs all the time. I'm talking about thousands of them. I work with our entire network and I see a lot of great things. I see great business examples. I see mindsets that sometimes get in the way. And everybody has a dream. Everybody has a passion in what they want, right? Do me a favor right now, find a scrap piece of paper. It doesn't matter what you're writing it on, but get pen in hand and just write what you really want. I don't care what that is. It doesn't have to be a business goal. It could be spiritual. I don't know. What is it that you really want? Write that down. Because everybody that I connect with, they want something. I know usually it's more of something. What is yours? You don't have to share it. If you like more of something, raise your hand. A couple of you, a lot of you, everybody. Yeah, I agree. So why don't you already have it? So I want to play a fun game with you. Well, I hope it's fun. I'm going to have a good time no matter what. So imagine this ship is your business. And I get it. You're probably the sailor of one. You don't have a lot of people working on your ship. But what I'd like you to do is look at everybody on this image and pick the number person that best speaks to how you show up in your own business. And then take a moment to reflect on it. I've heard every answer just about. I'm always looking for new ones. But once you've identified what your person, who you best represent, look to the person beside you, have a little fun, tell them your number and why you feel you are that person in your business. Go ahead, have a moment. Yeah.
Just right.
Which one? All right, let's chat about it with a group. So who would like to share one? Who would like to share their own? Will be vulnerable. Oh yeah. Usually it's like who wants to soften it up. I'm like, tell me one you heard that you liked. So you can talk about somebody else instead of the bus. Go ahead.
Okay, Rashida and I have been working on a commercial deal.
Okay.
We've been working with them for months. So she said, I feel like I'm number 8.
Number 8.
She keeps trying to pull up the anchor.
Okay.
And now we're on number 20 because they didn't go through and it didn't happen. So now she's kind of kicking back.
You're back watching your business sail on by. I'll try next time when it comes back to court, right? Fair enough. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
I think I'm number 10 and content with the direction the ship is going. I just got to get my daily task done.
All right. So not only are you running your own entrepreneur, successful real estate business, but you're also out there wasting your time swapping the deck.
Yes.
I love it. All right, keep it going. Hey, somebody's got to swap the deck, right?
I feel like I do 1 through 20.
1 to 20. Yeah, we've heard that one before. I love it too. Okay, yeah.
I like number 3 because the ship's going and it's gonna be going, and you might as well find a way to have a little bit of extra fun.
Yeah, just kick it back and things are running smooth. You're like, why should I steer this ship?
It'll steer
Right?
itself.
Just let it, yeah. Find lightning and whatever happens out there. Yeah. Fun. I love it.
Number 1,
All right. Why?
because I've had success for both my client and for myself.
I like it. Right. So leaning out there to plant your flag somewhere else. All right. Anybody else?
I told Alex on all of them in my life.
Yeah.
And he said, what are you doing on number 17? I said, I'm shooting myself in the foot.
Hey, you know how many times, I mean, listen, I told you what I do, right? Number 17, sinking your own ship. It happens. It's been known to happen. So I get it. All right. Well, the good news is, though, as I was working the room, I love the funny stuff, right? That's what this is for. Don't take things too seriously, but it does get you thinking because every single one of these I've heard, it could be a positive reflection or otherwise. And the good news I'd like to compliment in the room, the majority of the ones I heard in this room were actually pretty positive. And I like that, right? Nothing can get in my way. I'm going to do these things, like, fantastic. But remember, right, I've had somebody, when I did this, when they say, well, I want my business to be running so good, I can take a vacation. Right? So I get it. Like I have seen, I mean, stop getting in your own way, right? I mean, we can see and talk about it in a whole lot of ways, but the beautiful thing is exactly that. How do you perceive it? Because, you know, I said I work with the entire network, coast to coast, and even the no coast in between. And I get to network, as I said, with a lot of real estate professionals, no matter what their experience level is, brand new to this industry, meaning they still have the receipt to their exam floating around in their organized office, I'm sure. To people that have been in this business so long, we've seen the secular cycle that this industry creates and everywhere in between. But I've learned from going through all my travels and talking with all of these real estate professionals, there is a very tough real estate market. In fact, I would call it, many would agree, the toughest real estate market on the planet. Who knows where that is? Anybody? Only judge a little bit. You can throw a wrong answer out there. It's okay. Toughest real estate market? What do you think?
Your own.
Your own? Like my own backyard?
Yeah, where you are working.
Where I work.
Yeah,
Okay. So where's yours?
Twin Cities.
Twin Cities. Like it. Where else? Toughest real estate market. It's not Twin Cities, by the way.
Online.
Online, could be online, but it's not.
Southwest Florida.
Southwest Florida, not the answer.
Vegas.
Vegas,
No.
well, Vegas, not the answer. Except actually it can be. Every one of those places can be the toughest real estate market on earth if I'm there. Because the toughest real estate market, the toughest sell, the toughest client is in this room and it's in your own head. And Matt actually didn't try. He talked about that several times. It's mindset. In my role, I deal with mindset quite often. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is our brains are weird. And anybody take, wait, before I go on, are there any part-time biologists in the room? Part-time? Hey, you'd be surprised at who I meet along my travels. So part-time biology. Who remembers probably, I don't know, 9th grade biology, the word homeostasis? You at least remember the word.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No Wikipedia. I'll actually give you the definition. It's one sentence. But I want to show you what that is, because that's where the brain starts. It's not where the brain stops. Inside each and every one of us, there are chemicals that we can't necessarily control. Hey, listen, I live in Colorado. I try to control them in a lot of chemicals, but it turns out I can't. But I keep trying. All right. So we can't control this, and it doesn't stop there. It's chemicals that make us feel happy, chemicals that make us feel sad, the emotions that come with that, the fears, and all of the things. Okay, that's great. What does it have to do with work? Well, I think you can already make a connection here. What happens if that homeostasis is stopping us from doing something that we need to do? Here's how it pans out. Who's ever had what we call the butterflies or the jitters? That's a start. That's the chemicals inside your body making you feel weird. When I was a little kid, probably 7 and a lot shorter, I remember going to the community pool with my grandmother all the time one summer. I used to live down in Florida, and we would go to the community pool, and they had a couple high dives. It was a pretty good sized pool. Every summer I'd go out there. Well, I'd watch all the big kids jump off the high dive, and they were cool because they're jumping off the high dives. But that's way too high. But one summer I said, hey, this is the summer I'm gonna do it. And so I proudly walked over there, climbed it all the way up to the top of that thing, and kind of inched myself to the edge and looked down. I swear it was like a mile and a half below. The pool was very small at that point. It was so high. The wind was blowing. I think eagles were circling. It was insane, I'm telling you. And so I got to the edge, and you know what I did? I turned around and I climbed my sat myself back down. But here's the problem: there were already kids on the ladder. Right, so now everybody had to get out of the way for me. And then I had to do the walk of shame all the way around the pool. And towel over my head. I'm like, God, I hope this summer ends quick. It did. So, but day after day. And then finally I said, you know what? Summer's near close. I've got to do this. If I don't do it, I'm not going to do it. So I did. I went right back up there, climbed that mile and a half ladder, inched myself to the edge. And yes, I actually finally did leap off because I couldn't wait too long. That hesitation was what was killing me the first time. Splash! I survived. Somewhere in the archives, there's actually, this is how long ago it was. You guys remember those disposable cameras you'd wind up, right? They would take it to the drugstore and have it for you. There's a photo somewhere from about this far off the water. The facial expression says it all. The shorts were from the 70s, so we'll save that for another conversation. But guess where I went once I got out of the pool? Where'd I go? Back up the ladder. In fact, I was going to say I ran to go up there, but you know, lifeguards don't like you running. You know, you have to do the fall walk, you know, hustle along. But you're right. So what was the break from that first time where I wouldn't go to the second time when I did it? Well, you had to find your why, much like Simon Sinek talked about. You got to start with that emotional movement and work your way from there. My emotional movement, standing on the edge, was I didn't want to die. But I didn't want to die of embarrassment and make it all the way through the end of the summer and not being that kid and then having to run into people. So I found my why. But I work in what I do is the brain, that homeostasis kicks in and you're on that high dive and you got those jitters and you're wanting to do it, but something is stopping you. And that's what happens. So let's play along. I want to show you an example of it. So again, you have something to write on. I wanted to make sure you had it. Grab something to write with, and I want you to hold it in the air for me. Play along. Okay. You online too. I'm watching. Play along. Okay. Now wave it in the air like you really do care what I'm saying. Thank you. I just like to make people do weird things. All right, now, what I want you to do is I want you to put that pen or a writing device in your opposite non-dominant writing hand. So for all the righties in the room, you're going to get a taste of old lefty land here. Who's my other lefty? There's usually like 2 of us in a room. Oh, impressive. Nice. One time I was, well, not one time, I've been a leader of people for many years, and I had multiple locations spread out over the country. And I went to one of my locations once, and the entire leadership team, all 5 people, they were all left-handed. Now, why does that matter to me? Because when I went in there to look at the books, everything was made upside down and backwards from you righties. It was so nice to be in their ledgers and everything. It was fantastic. Anyway, nevertheless, enough about me. You've got this in your non-dominant right hand. Simply, I just want you in the top right corner. We're going to go old school. Just write your name and today's date. Your non-dominant right hand.
Well, nine.
They do get all pardon. You better make sure they're doing it online. I see you. For that online life. You guys are still writing. It's just your name. Date. Sorry.
Pretty good.
Okay, you had enough time, no cheating. Check your underwear if you don't know. All right. Before we go on, I actually, let's just move on. I have one question I'd like you to answer. Continuing to write out this answer, you don't have to write out the question. Your answer can be in bullet point form or whatever you want. Continuing to use your non-dominant writing hand. Answer one question. What do you love about real estate? Easy, right? Write it out. Just your answer. What do you love about real estate? Using your non-dominant writing hand. I know. So many choices. Where do I begin? Usually your first 2 or 3 are just sometimes it's just one word. All writing devices down. Even if you didn't finish it, it's okay. Hands in the air. Show me jazz fingers, right? We cheated? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, before I even get to your answer, please tell me how'd that go? Give me some emotion, words of emotion on how that activity was. Stupid.
Frustrated.
Frustrating. Yes. Challenging. Slow. What else?
Fun.
Fun.
A little sloppy.
Just kidding. Sloppy.
A little sloppy.
Little sloppy. I'm left-handed. My brain works faster than my hand. My handwriting is always sloppy, but welcome to my world. I love that. Anybody else?
Harder than expected.
Harder than expected.
Can't read it.
Can't read it. Yeah. All right. I love the fun young, but it's difficult, right? Did anybody, because I can't really see what you guys write, did anybody think just for a moment, you're gonna know, he doesn't know which hand I write it, right? Anybody think that? Of course, yeah. Okay. All right. What were some of the words that you guys used, the actual answer of your question? What do you love?
Flexibility.
Flexibility.
Joy.
Joy. Oh, you were listening.
Go get some swag.
Swag. I'm not in charge of handing out swag, by the way. I've claimed this pen for a few minutes. But that's about it. All right. What else?
People
People. What about them?
are all unique.
They are snowflakes, aren't they? Yes. What else?
Opportunity.
Opportunity. I love it. Positive words. All right. So I talked about the homeostasis being that first thing. We can't control it. But the hard part is it doesn't stop there. Then what happens is it evolves into this thing called limiting beliefs. Who knows what a limiting belief is? No. Good. Means I could actually share something with you. Well, a limiting belief is an idea. It can be a memory. It's a thought. It's dwelling or reflecting on a past experience. Now, often it's something that you reflect on in a negative way. It's something that is challenging what you think you need to do. It's trying to get in your way from what you said you need to do to where you want to go. It's a limiting belief. The hard part about limiting beliefs are they're not always our own. We have a lot of influencers in our lives, people that have talked us into things, out of things. Anybody ever come back from spring break with a tattoo you just didn't really want? I feel your pain. It's all right. All right. So these limiting beliefs often are great, maybe if they're talking you into it, but they may be talking you out of it as well. And they're not always your experience. I'll give you an example. In business, you get all jazzed up about something. You got this great idea on how you're going to make the needle move in your business, and you're just grabbing a cup of coffee and you're talking with somebody there and saying, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And they're like, oh, shit, no, that would not be good. I tried that and it was terrible. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, well, they didn't have success with it, and maybe I wouldn't have success with it either. Now, maybe that's a specific thing, but if you get what I'm saying with that, and it's not always just your work colleague, it could be somebody influential in your lives. It could be a religion, it could be a political, it could be a family member, it could be spiritual, it could be a whole bunch of things, of different people that can influence you, or at least your thoughts, these beliefs that you have. So how do we deal with this as a person? Well, you can say, I'm just going to do it, right? I'm just going to power through it. One thing I found in my journeys, the self-exploration is I can't make myself do things for a long period of time. Can you? No, most can't. In fact, I'll give you a non-real estate example. Welcome to New Year's resolutions. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to go to the gym. January 1st, gym is packed. March 1st, tumbleweeds. Because I made myself go for 7 times the free trial period, right? Or whatever it was. In fact, last year I was going to join a gym. I've eaten. And I said, it was in January. I had this thing. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to go join a gym in January. I'm not going to be that guy because in the back somewhere, the employees have a board of who's quitting the gym. I just know it's up there. I haven't seen it, but I believe it to be there. So we have these limiting beliefs that try to get in our way. And that's not even where the brain stops either. The brain then continues and it turns into, I lovingly personally call head trash. We could call it negative head chatter if you want to clean it up a little bit, but I call it negative head trash. Anybody else have head trash? Well, let's find out. Have you ever had that? I always envision it like a little person on my shoulder talking in my ear. Physically, I can hear this voice inside my head. Anybody else, or should I have that checked out? Nobody answered me.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay, so we go from the jitters to the thoughts of, oh, yeah, that's why we're feeling weird. This isn't a good idea. To, yeah, let's not do this. Let's do something else. It's more important. I don't know. I've lived that. How do you deal with it? Because if you can relate to any of that, welcome, unfortunately. But how do we deal with it? Well, I can tell you there's a couple steps you can try, but saying it is much easier than actually doing it. But let's go down the road together. So the first thing I recommend, and I know this because I would consider myself an expert in head trash. I'm standing here right now going, God, I hope they like me, because who cares if they don't? But I do. But the reality is, right, we have to identify, is this negative head chatter? Is this a limiting belief that I am experiencing? And if you're around me long enough, thankfully you won't have to be, but if you're around me long enough, I physically ask myself that question. I don't think that question, I ask it out loud. Why do I do that? Why do I actually go, Adam? Actually, I call myself Southie because a lot of my friends call me Southie. Is this a limiting belief that you're experiencing right now? Right? I know it's funny to say that, right? And sometimes if I'm around people, I'm like, hang on. Is this a limiting belief that you could be going through? Because I do say it out loud. I found if I think about it, our brains work so quick. We say we can multitask. It's impossible. We don't multitask. We shift very quickly in our brains from one task to another, but we don't do them collectively all at the same time. So I have to say it out loud. And if you're afraid to be weird like me, go sit out in your mobile office where nobody can hear you. It looks like you're hands-free. You know, you're like, and ask yourself the question. I find when I start to ask myself that question, it often already answers it for me because I know I'm taking myself through this process. And I laugh it off and I go, you're stupid. And then I agree with myself because I am stupid. So that's the first step, is just call it out. I find it takes away some of the power of this limiting belief because now I'm bringing it into question. You can take it deeper and go, what makes this limiting belief true? Prove it to yourself if you can't get past step one. Or later. Now that I believe it's limiting belief, the second step is to what we call focus on the bright spot. Hey, champ, look at the bright spot of things. It's not as bad, right? But we have to do that. Because what happens if you only dwell in the negative problems? Who knows?
You're the problem.
You are the problem. Right? We already said we're our own enemy, right?
You become Ann on my association. I'm the association board member, and there's 5% that dwell on the negative.
Yeah. How many of you have worked a 12-hour day? Own it. I'm with you. 12-hour day. You had 11 great hours. One bad hour. And you come home, you're like, okay. What about the other 11? You're right. We dwell in it too much. Call it out. Focus on the bright spot. What were the 11 better hours than that one? That day is pretty easy to focus on. I was coaching an agent in California a little bit more than a year ago. Remember the fires? You guys hear about those fires?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, her market is in the LA market, and her market was directly impacted by that. And she already had some uphill challenges. Anybody sold real estate in California before? I haven't. I've been licensed in 2 states. California wasn't one of them. So there's challenges there. As you can imagine, every state has its own challenges. I am not an expert of California real estate, so don't take everything I say as the gospel. But with this agent, I felt like she was very knowledgeable for market. And then when things burned, things got from worse to worse for her. And so what do you think some of the challenges are in her market during that time frame? 5,000 homes burned or buildings burned, 5,000 less pieces of inventory in an already short market. How is it to sell real estate in California? Easy? I hear there's a few regulations, right? So now we got embers, and now they have to rebuild, and now there's issues with insurance and permits and EPA. I don't know any of this. But I will say it caused problems. Wouldn't you agree? A lot of people are exiting, right? And so what can I say to her to help her focus on the bright spot? But she came up with her own. But what do you think would be a bright spot in that moment if you were in that type of environment? Let's help her out. What would you recommend to her to focus on during that moment of time of chaos, which, by the way, is still disrupting her business over a year later? What would you tell her?
New inventory.
Say it again.
New inventory.
New inventory. Maybe people are wanting to move California, more listings are coming available. Or I need to now focus on land and things like that, right? So there's this learning and growth opportunity. What else? What else would you recommend to her?
On properties.
REO, Vaco, they threw their hands in the air and waved them with their middle fingers like they really don't care.
Tax
Say that?
forfeited.
Tax forfeited, perhaps. So some things she said, what one of the things she said was the fact that the insurance industry is challenging in California. It's hard to get the home insured. We know that in most markets that, well, lenders don't want to lend on a home that they can't insure. So it's causing this disruption even more, this bottleneck of an issue. She said this is actually going to force industry change when it comes to things like insurance. So she actually took it from it's going to be a growing pain, but there's going to be this positivity from it. I didn't say anything to her about this. She came up with it on her own, but you have to find your own bright spot. So are any of you experiencing as much disruption and chaos in your own market like she's experiencing in that LA? If you are, I got one of those hugs Matt loves. I'll save one for you. But so right, so we don't have it as bad as others may have it. I know at times the homeostasis and the limiting beliefs and this little voice that drives me crazy says this is terrible. But I promise if you start to focus on the bright spots, your bright spot, hey, at least I'm not selling real estate in California, right? There's one. So that's the second step. The third one is then you've got to do what I was just kind of doing is reframe your own thoughts. Nothing I say is going to sink into your brain any better. You're not even close to better than what you can tell yourself. So if you really believe that there is head chatter going on, then you can start to find that bright spot. Well, at least I'm not in California or whatever your thing is. And then you've got to get through that affirmation. Who does affirmations? Anybody? How do you do them? Do you say them? Do you listen to them? Do you mind sharing it? Is that a little too personal?
I probably say them to myself, especially when I get into that negative.
Yeah, say it to yourself. I mean, listen, I only think of was it Mad TV or Saturday Night Live? Stuart Smalley. That's all I could think of and I used to think they were the dumbest thing. I do affirmations constantly. So sometimes I'm out of my car, my mobile office talking, but you got to get the mind right. Because if you don't, what's the penalty of not getting your mind right? Everything. Yeah. Yeah. Because as far as I know, you guys are all entrepreneurs. Are you not? Matt can motivate you, but I don't. Well, he might. I don't think he's going to come to your house and be like, wakey, eggs and bacon, time to get in your real estate business. It's probably not going to do that. You're going to have to pick yourself up. I love action sports. We were talking snowboarding this morning. It comes from the evolution of action sports. I skateboarded as a kid. I competed surfing years and years ago, like disposable camera days, and I've been snowboarding ever since. And I got to tell you, my brain operates in a good way in this situation. It says, hey, you can do this. Go back in that terrain part. Blast those big aerials. You got this. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. And then I wreck because my body says otherwise. But when I'm laying out there on the trail, nobody runs out there and picks me up and brushes me off. Even though I see canaries spinning, I'm like, go down the hill. Nobody does that for me. Well, I guess they could. They bring that sled. You don't want to ride that sled. That's bad. So you have to be the one to pick yourself up off the trail. You've got great support. You've got great motivators. You've got great resources. But at the end of the day, it's you and your brain. And your brain is the toughest client you'll ever do business with, I promise. So I told you I would do that. I'd give you that one definition. So write this down real quick, and then we're going to move on because I know we have time to consider. Homeostasis is a self-regulating process by which an organism tends to maintain stability by adjusting to conditions that are best for its survival.
We're supposed to write that down.
I'll slow it down. A self-regulating process by which an organism tends to maintain stability by adjusting to conditions that are best for its survival. Wordy, huh? I didn't write it down. Everybody get it? Self-regulating process by which an organism tends to maintain stability by adjusting to conditions that are best for its survival. Good question.
What was the last one?
Say it again.
After adjusting conditions, what was it?
Adjusting to conditions that are best for its survival. How many of you wrote that down? I saw a lot of heads different. Yeah, or you're falling asleep. Good. How many used your non-dominant writing hand? Not one person this time? I always get the cocky ones like, I did. I'm like, great. But you still had to make that choice. How many of you looked down at that and didn't even think? You just said, he's firing this sentence off at me. I just heard him say it, lost everything he just said. Let me get my pen and go back to my comfort zone, right? Your brain didn't even challenge it. There was no limiting belief there. Some of you may have had a limiting belief and looking at that pen, it goes, wait. I have had some people ask me, well, Selfie, should I keep writing with my non-dominant writing hand? And I say, I'm going to let you decide that. And guess what they usually do? Most of them will go into their comfort zone because that's where they want to live. This is great. Maybe it's a little silly, but what is that thing that you talk yourself out of in your real estate business? Why don't you have the success that you wrote down when I asked you at the very beginning? What's getting in your way? Don't say the market, because the market, every day that I know in this market, there are closings happening. Isn't there not? If you don't know, run the MLS report. How many closings happened in the month of December already? Usually 2 agents being compensated for all the hard work they've already done. There's a pie being served. Sometimes it's a smaller pie. Slicing still tastes good. Maybe I'm hungry. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
How we did. All right. So the brain is real. It starts and stops with the brain. The brain controls everything. I am not a brain expert. But what I will say are in my world of coaching, I look at the brain from 3 sides. I look at it from the thinker side. It's the analytical that says, yes, you should. You tell yourself, these are the things I need to do, and I've even convinced myself why. The believer side pops up and goes, well, maybe not. Because of this and because of this. So in comes the third side of your brain, and it's the tiebreaker side. It's the one that has to weigh the evidence, and whichever side is more compelling is the side that you will end up doing usually. So as a group, which side of the brain do you think is more compelling? The thinker side or the believer side? Thinker side, raise your hand. Is your brain the thinker side more compelling than the believer side? Believer side? Why? This whole room, that's almost the majority. The other people were like, wait, can you ask us something? What?
You already believe it.
You already believe it. Yeah, I sometimes I get people to say thinker side is the more analytical for some, or in certain moments it may very well be. But think about this: there's large groups of people that follow heavily a belief system, whatever that is for them. Very compelling. So you have to say, how is my beliefs compelling me to do or not do? Tattoo, no tattoo. Up to you.
Right.
we pausing here? Where are we at?
20 more minutes.
20, perfect. Then I'll just move into the second thing. So the brain is working. That's where we're at. Now, who feels you've experienced some of that? Something that might have been important to you in your business, and for some reason, you ended up doing something else. But it was for the right reasons because you totally justified it, didn't you? Anybody? Nobody? Couple of you? All right. The rest are liars. Thank you. Thank you. Again, same here. Every day. Right? No, I don't want to do this thing, but you know what else is important? I'm going to do this. And let me convince myself why this is more important than that. Why? Because my believer side convinced me more than my thinker side did. Happens. So I gave you 3 easy steps. It's not easy. I work on it every day. I fail often. I try to fail forward when I can. Because my brain works the way my brain does. Your brains work the way that you do. But that's what I try to work with. And that's the university has resources, right? We have coaching programs. We have learning resources. From a leadership perspective, I have been a leader of people for a long time. And I can tell you from a leadership perspective, there's only 2 reasons. Call it what you want. There's only 2 reasons why people don't do things. That's it. Anybody know the first reason? Why somebody doesn't do something?
Failure.
Fear.
Scared. What was yours?
Scared of failing. They're failing.
Scared of failing. Yeah, 100%. Sometimes scared of winning too. Fear of success. So scared. What's another reason?
They don't actually want it.
They don't want it. So scared actually is an emotion that comes up from these 2 things. Don't want it. That's commitment. I don't really want it that bad. That's why I love the book Start With Your Why, Simon Sinek, because if your why is not compelling enough to where it almost doesn't, if it doesn't almost bring you to tears, you need a different why. Because it's only going to be the power of that gets you up. And it's easy when we're winning. But when you're not winning, it's a lot harder. I thought. I don't know if you can agree. But commitment, I don't want it. The second one is ability. I don't know how to do it. And often if I don't know how to do it, that impacts my commitment. Would you agree? So if you have these skills to do the things, even if it's the small thing that you said. I love Atomic Habits, by the way. You guys were talking books. Who's read Atomic Habits? Super easy to do. Little wins. And I always have to remind myself of that because little wins can stack up and they're attainable. So commitment and ability, right? Well, from a leadership perspective, you address those in different ways. And coaching resource, I can tell you ability can be found. You can go to the Century 21 University or take a class here inside your brokerage, learn and build a skill. Don't come expecting that everything that you're supposed to be told is going to be an aha, because you already know things. But a lot of them can be, oh, yes. And that's where the magic happens. I have taken foundational agent productivity courses and seen top producing agents in that room doing the fundamentals that took them to the top. Not because they forgot, because they want to be in that environment. They want to be reminded. They know it's what needs to be done. And here is an outlet for you to do that without being alone, like others that have that like-minded piece. So you can make it happen. But I want to shift in and I want to talk a little bit about being tactical with what you've decided to do. So you still got a piece of paper, and I just want you to write down. I know you're going to go through some business planning, and I love that, by the way. A big fan of it. But I want you to write down that number. What do you want to do in the next 12 months in your business? Whatever that number is it deals? Is it a dollar amount? What is it? And what is your goal? Just write it down. And you may use that later. You may have already done your business plan, and you already know it off the top of your head. I got to tell you, I work with a lot of realtors, as I mentioned, anywhere from newest to the business to decades of along, working off of land patents back in the day, probably, who knows. But everybody I've ever met knows their number. They know what they want in units and or dollars, or they say dollars and then they work through the real estate calculator and they bring it down to a unit goal. Let's talk units for a second. How many of you identify the units that you want annually for your business goals? Okay, for those that have not raised their hand, pay attention, just kidding. try, because if you haven't already, I would recommend it. How will you know when you've arrived? Because I work with a lot of agents and they say, I love this. They say, I just want to sell as many homes to as many people as possible. And I say, but what does that do for you? What are you doing when you wake up tomorrow? How will you know when you got there? I look at running on treadmills. I don't run on treadmills. I see them as I walk by the gym, but I say, hey, there they are. But I know of running on a treadmill one of three ways, right? I can run for a mile in distance. I can say, I want to run 2 miles, right? Or I can say, I want to run for 20 minutes. Or I can say, I'm just going to run until I fall off the back of it because I have no finish line. How do you feel you're running in your business right now? Are you going after the distance that you want? Are you just putting in the time you think it takes? Or you have no goal and no direction and you're just running until you're gassed out and then you move on to something else? Happens. So be tactical. So you know your unit goal. Look at it. How many units do you want? Do you ever look at which side of the transaction that you would like to get it on? So who's willing to play along with me? I just want one volunteer to share their number and let me ask you a couple questions. Okay, what's your number? How many would you like to do next in the next 12 months?
25.
25. Great. How many of them do you want, would you like in the perfect world to be sell side? What percentage of them?
100%.
100%. Zero buyers. Okay. Will you end up working with buyers or will you outsource the ones that come to you because of your listings? You'll work with them. You just don't want to work with them. I'm so happy that you're here. I don't really want to work with you, but we're going to make this happen. This thing. All right, good. Well, 100%. Okay, somebody else. What's your percentage? Don't tell me your unit. Just tell me what percentage seller side do you want? 80. 80 means you want 20% buying. Okay, anybody else? What about buy side? Or go ahead.
50-50 is usually my.
50-50. I'll take what I can get. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But what might be difficult for you to go out there and get whatever comes your way? Don't know yet. We don't know. We don't know. Anybody. What could get in the way? I don't care where my deal comes from. 50-50. That's how I look at that. I don't care. I just want to sell as many homes as I can to as many people as I can. I don't care how it comes from. What could be a challenge of that?
Can do about 7 listings to every 2 buyers.
Okay, so there's some math in there based on, what are you basing that on?
I was new in the business and the dying agent told me that, so it must be true.
Must be. I saw it on the internet somewhere in the bathroom wall. It said, hey, pay attention. Yes, okay, fair. Well, the challenge that I see with it, you were my 80-20, weren't you? What does that tell you as you wake up tomorrow and beyond to get however many deals you want, but you want 80% of them to come from listing side, 20% to be on buyer? What does that tell you?
Comfortable and in control, and then also meeting the city.
Okay, yeah, I like that. What else could it tell you?
Off the market. It's a seller's market or a buyer's market.
I might have to adjust, but every transaction, there's usually one of each. So that's split. I like that though. How much resource should she spend on listings? How many hosts in social should be focused on listings? 80%. That means 8 out of 10 social media posts. Listing verbiage. We'll talk about that a little bit after lunch. But what is your number one resource for that business that you want? What is it? And it might be different for everybody in this room. Look down at your number and say, where's the by and large piece of that number coming from in the next 12 months? What would you tell me? Past clients, referrals, anybody other than because I'm calling them your sphere. Right? They're never just past clients. They're past deals of my clients. Is the way I like to verbiage that. So anybody see it? Internet leads. You like to stalk people in the grocery store? I have a funny story about that one time. Let's talk about spidey senses. I was shopping down the grocery store aisle and I hear a couple of guys talking, and then of course they said key words that my ears were like, what? And I wanted to reach through the cereal and hand a business card through the aisle, but apparently I pressed my knuckles because there's a wall between both sides. So I just kind of scooched around the corner, and like looking for who knows what. I don't even know what was there. It's probably not appropriate, but whatever it was, I was looking for that moment. But the whole idea is if Sphere is your bread and butter, right? How are you using your Sphere today to be able to get that business tomorrow? Because we'll talk about whatever lead gen source you want, but this group said Sphere. So let's talk Sphere. How many times, excuse me, let me start with a better what. What do you do to get that future business on your piece of paper from your Sphere? What are you doing right now? Not right now, but in your present business now.
I delivered chocolate chip cookies.
You pub by. Love that. And yes, you do. By the way, have you seen her? Have you smelled her? You smell my pocket? Not the Colorado pocket. All right. No. All right. No. Let me get refocused here. Thank you. All right. So you do a pop by. I love that. What else do you do? How many touches? What's the word out there? There's a lot of talent in this room. You've read some things. You've asked some people. How many touches are you supposed to do with the people in your database to make sure they don't forget about you? That lost deal that Matt talked about, even though he got rewarded. But how many touches? Anybody know?
Isn't it 33 according to Gary Keller or somewhere in there, 34?
34 per month?
Yeah.
Oh, per year. Okay, well, if I were to do easy math, like maybe two times, 3 times a month, maybe. Sounds like Gary might be onto something. He should try that real estate thing. So some of the experts take it or leave it, but they say 1 to 3. So maybe he's right. 1 to 3 touches to every person in your database each and every month. Why? Well, because they don't wake up thinking about real estate the way that you do, my friends. Popping bubbles. That's my spirit name, Dream Killer. Right? It's true. They don't. So you have to remind them. Because has anybody finally woke up out of a dream and said, you know what, I'm going to call with this past client of mine. And you call them and they're like, Southie, so great to hear from you. Hey, remember that big house you sold us a couple of years ago? And I'm like, yeah. And they say, well, we just closed on an even bigger one. And we're having a housewarming party. Would love for you to stop by. And I say, great, I'd love to come by. I go to the store and buy the cheapest bottle of champagne that I can find. Fruit with a screw cap, probably. And I could show up with smiles for days, right? Well, anybody ever had that happen in a variety of ways? Have you ever lost a deal that way? How'd it feel, by the way? Just check it in. Feel good? Good? No? Stone sucks. So we don't want that to happen. You got to stay in touch with the people who know. If you really want those deals to come, that number on your paper to come from your Sphere, which is what you told me. I'm not telling you. You said that. Then what are you doing? 1 to 3 touches for every single person in your database. Who's got a big database? How many? Ballpark it. 1,000? 10,000? 10? Your mom and somebody else? I mean, what do you got? 2,000. 6,000 touches a month. She's out. She's not listening to me anymore. I promise she probably isn't. I'm going to give you a little formula to consider. Write this one down. I recommend it. I'm going to keep it simple, high level. We're going to talk about the who, the what, the when, and the how. That's it. The who. Who goes in your CRM or your day planner if you're still fighting it? Who goes in your database? Don't overthink it.
People that would know you if you saw them in person.
People go in my database. I love that. I would say everyone. Can you do the challenge right now and grab your phone? You don't have to, but you can grab your phone. Most smartphones, you can go to the contacts and you can scroll or find a place. It will tell you how many people are in your database on your phone. Can you say that every one of those people are in your digital assistant, your database, whatever CRM that you're using? Why not? Tell me why that's not a good idea. Why would you not want to have somebody that's in your phone? They made it in your phone. You didn't buy your phone with their name in there. It's not like Colin from MySpace. Anybody throwing that back? All right, yeah. So, all right, yeah. Here's my old piece in the room. All right. So why? Why isn't everybody that's in your phone not in your business database? I'm just curious. I'm not going to make you do it, by the way. Sure wish I could make you guys do things that make you rich and famous. Nobody listens. But why? Anybody know why? There's not a good reason, is there? Otherwise, you would have already thrown it at it. Yeah, but you know what? The pizza guy. Pizza guy. Why would I want to talk to the pizza guy? Well, maybe he's not happy living in his parents' basement. He's trying to make his fortune getting out, and he wants to buy a home. I have lived in a domicile of some kind my entire life. Even I lived for 6 months in the wilderness off-grid in southeastern Colorado. I lived in a 5 by 5 by 5 dome tent. And yes, I'm taller than 5 foot, so it was cozy. A little harder to get a pizza out there, that's for sure.
That's the reason I believe you.
Oh, yeah, it's true. I learned how to be very resilient. In my suitcase, I got snacks, I got survival gear. I mean, whatever they let me on the airplane with. But yeah, so it's true. But the point being is everybody wants to live somewhere. Why don't you, unless you're not in that? Is this the financial group meeting? Because, oh yeah, just check. Put them in your database, friends. That's the who. I'm going to challenge you and encourage you. And if you want, I can beg you to put everybody you know into your database, whether you use them or not. It's okay. Did you know most databases you can group people together? You can have a never going to call ever group. At least they're in there. One day you might get spicy and you might go, hey, I want to send them something just to stir it up a little bit. Be surprised at what happens that way. I hear great stories all the time. Who is everybody goes in your database? What? Here's the easy thing, friends. Only 2 things of value can you bring somebody that's in your professional database. There's really only 2 items of value. Who can tell me one of them? Items of value?
Market report or
Good.
how everything's going.
Something business related. Yeah, you can bring them real estate value. You can bring people real estate value.
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of those stand up moments. It sounds like, everybody stand up for me. I just answered this one question. Do you bring real estate value to people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a little better. All right, we'll try. Try harder. Okay. So then if real estate value is the one thing I can bring everybody in my professional real estate database, what's the other thing I can bring everybody that's in there?
Knowledge. Knowledge.
Knowledge. Maybe it's real estate knowledge. Could be. Maybe it's not real estate knowledge. Maybe it's life tips. The other side, real estate value, you also bring the cookies, don't you? The non-real estate value. How many times do you talk with people in your database about things that aren't real estate related?
More often than real estate. Really.
Wait, you're breaking up. Say that louder for us all.
Hopefully more often than real estate, so I still have friends.
And why is that? Well,
I
besides,
lost a lot of friends just talking real estate.
yeah. Oh my gosh. In fact, we hear that so much. How many of you have ever thought way back in the day, you know what? I don't ever want to call the people in my database because I don't think the only reason I'm calling them is because I want business from them. Ever heard somebody think that? Yeah, we hear that so much. I hear that so much. It's printed in some of the content inside Century 21 University. You know where all you guys go. You should check that out. All right, so the what is I can bring those everybody in my database, real estate value or non-real estate value. Let's talk about the cookies right now. 1 to 3 touches is what they said. They didn't say 3 touches. They said 1 to 3, and I think that's relatable because if I'm working with a buyer right now and they are actively looking, how frequently are you talking with them? Frequently, daily, hourly, sometimes more, right? But once they close, am I still talking with them daily, hourly? Hey, that home you bought 2 years later, okay, see you tomorrow. Right? No, you find where they fit, but you have to be in charge of that. You're in charge of your database. So if you're not managing your database, then they may be lost along the way and you make them that call, you grit your teeth, you bring them the brute champagne. So we know the who, we know the what. Here's an easy one. When? Well, let's talk about it. When can you reach out and provide a touch point to your people. I'm going to give you the easy one once a year.
Home anniversary.
Their home anniversary. Now there's even more than just the calendar time. Now there's specific reasons, their birthdays, all those things. But if I was going to automate, I could say I could reach out to them annually, one touch. Doesn't help me as much. A lot of pain, probably. I could reach out to them semi-annually, twice a year. Okay. I could reach out to them quarterly. I could reach out to them monthly, weekly, daily. I could say hourly, but then I'm going to call you a stop. But that's the basic timeline. But there's reasons why fit all throughout there. Here's the month of December. Let's talk about the how. How, I already talked about when you can reach out to them, daily, monthly, quarterly, annually, semi-annually, all the reasons. But how can you connect with someone, especially this day and age? Tell me one way you can have a touch and you can't use the pop by, because that's one of them. I can think of like 7 right now. There's one, pop by. That's one way to get in front of the people that you know. What's another way?
Text,
Text, what'd you say?
holidays,
Holiday what?
anyone, Mayday,
What are you doing?
bringing them just some treats. and-
Connected, bringing them. So like the cookie thing, the pop by, love that. What was the other text I heard? Pop bys, text,
Client party.
client party. See, that's different than a pop by. Pop by is unexpected. I was in the neighborhood and I wanted to bring you this. A client party, that it could be an event. Have you ever brought all of your people that are in your database into one room and let your best cheerleaders talk you up with people that know you, like you, trust you, but have never really done extended work with you before or any work with you before? Who loves tooting your own horn besides me? Well, right. So why not let them do it? So I love client appreciation events, whatever that may be, the night at the zoo lights or whatever your thing is. Okay, so there's another one. Calling them is different than texting them. Calls, text. Thank God nobody said the easy one, which is email. I love all of you.
Social media.
Social media. There's 4.
Mail.
Pop buys, events.
Postal service.
I could lick a stamp and everything. They still taste fabulous, by the way. Is that what you're going to say? There's 7 right there. Yeah.
So on social media, Facebook, Instagram, instead of just liking it, if something happens in your life, call.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In fact, first of all, let me give you my legal, I should have laminated. I am not a social media expert by any means. That's why I like sharing the little bit I know with the audience, because I promise I'm not going to drown you. After lunch, I want to talk a little social media, and I agree with you on that. Stop hitting the like button, start hitting the comment button. Even if it's like, hey, that's great, better than nothing, right? And I am not a social media expert, and even I know that's a good thing, so that's good. Okay, so we know the who, everyone. The what, value. Always got to bring value, otherwise, in the absence of it, all you're going to do is negotiate your commission. That's what I heard earlier. I agree. What is real estate value, non-real estate value? Friendships, personalized relationships, building those moments, hopefully more often than the business touches, but you know the touches. 8 out of 10, perhaps. We'll talk about that after lunch. The how. We talked about 7 different ways you could connect, you could touch that person in your database. You only need 3 each and every month. Now, 2,000, 6,000 touches, I'm going to recommend automating. I'm going to recommend delegating. Even if you are the soldier of one, delegation can still happen. There are ways to get creative and find what you can do, but you have to make that choice. So, being tactical with your business goal. First of all, how many of you, show of hands and keep them raised as I go through about 3 questions. How many of you knew your number before I asked you? Okay. Oh, part of the room. Okay. How many of you now think you know an idea of your number because I asked you to write it down? Even less? No. All right. Well, you know the number, but how many of you now know if you're going to do it this way? You don't have to, but 80% of my time, 80% of my resource, 80% of my focus, my budget, my intent, my purpose should be going after listings. And if I'm doing that, connecting the dots with my sphere, what does that look like? How many touches have you had with everybody in your database just this month? Good news, it's only the 9th. How many can you say with each person? Can you say you've had one touch with every single person in your database, just one in the month of December, or will in the month of December? Just one. Every single one? Do you know more than 3 people?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Who builds the calendar?
You mail a calendar. I love that. And I was coaching an agent one time, and he did the monthly calendar on the magnet fridge. You know, that was a thing. And he had an assistant, not you, you're awesome, had an assistant over here that mailed out the wrong month. He started getting calls. He was like, well, first of all, he's like, nobody's even going to realize this. Nobody ever called me from it. But when they got the wrong month, everybody called him. And it was the best mistake to ever happen. Why? Because everybody called.
Correct.
Oh, I'm so sorry. He gave her a promotion, or a raise, I think, a bonus, but I don't remember. But yeah, so whatever your thing is, so there's one touch. That's his. But if you want business from your sphere, nobody told me otherwise. And you said your sphere is your best source. You're happy to do business with the warm touches to people who know you, like you, trust you. That's great, because that's the formula for influence. And so you're the one telling them to get the tattoo, right? Well, okay. But that's the idea, is now you've got 2 more. If you want to do it, maybe that's enough for you. And I'm not here to make anybody do more. But if you really believe in the numbers, and I believe in numbers, I love nerding out on numbers, because numbers tell a story. And if the experts are saying it takes more than a one and done, where are my other 2 going to come from? And what am I going to deliver? How many of you are going to mail out if you haven't already, lick a stamp, maybe it's a Christmas card, and you're going to mail it out to your people? How many are doing that this year? Okay. Business cards in the card, or no business cards in the card? Business cards. So now it's a hybrid, right? It's a personal touch with the wreath on the tree. And it's 2 business cards, but one's for you and one you better give away to somebody else. Like sales 101. Okay. How many are doing the business card, the holiday card, but not doing the business card in it? Nope. You are? Why?
I just wanted to be a personal touch between me and my clients
Yes.
without asking them for something.
The non-real estate touch. I got nothing to ask from you, because next week you're getting a business touch from me, right? Or whatever that may be. All of a sudden, I've taken one great, meaningful touch. It's important to you. It's important to them. It's the non-real estate value that you're giving them. But guess what you just did as an opportunity for yourself? Now I could remail, resend, or recall, or retext business conversation. There's my 2. I did the holiday card, the business touch, whatever that looks like in the calendar, if that's your thing. There's 3. And they're in a variety of ways. My friends, I'm a fan of Bob Ross. Anybody like Bob Ross? Yes, he doesn't like, you need to leave if you don't get me. So I paint your happy little business friends. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your sphere, but you told me it's where your business is coming from. And you look down at that number, whatever that number says on your paper, it says, hey, that's what I want. Okay. What are you going to do when you wake up tomorrow? You've got resources. Are you using them to their fullest? Continue with the things of value, because if you don't bring value, then don't expect them to answer. You have real estate value, non-real estate value. Good job to you. You choose to connect, to keep them separated. You have an opportunity to be able to expand your reach with them. And good for you that wants to combine them together and save a step and use it in that moment. There's no wrong way. But what is your way? You got to have a plan. That's where the business planning comes in. Don't just check the box and say, I want to make X by Y. How will you get there? And what is the significance when you get there? What would happen to you if you did not get there? Okay. Good place to be in if you don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, my friends, you are the entrepreneurs. So that said, I'll turn it over. A few minutes behind. That's your fault, not my fault.
I can talk about
I'm blaming other people, don't you? Yeah. All right. And then it sounds like, probably after lunch when there's some full bellies or whatever, maybe we'll chat a little bit about that social media a little bit more. Yeah. Unless you don't want me to talk about it.
All right, we'll grab lunch out here, and then we'll come back at 1:30, and we'll start with a fun game. So Please come back.
Molly supposedly.
Yes.
Claimed to be from St. Smart.
Yeah.
And that.
Is now, like, or maybe he's wrong.
Yes, indeed. I don't know how he must have lived here. Sure, yeah.
Possibly, yeah, playing some roofs somewhere.
And
And then I don't need that slide anymore. I just didn't want to touch anything over here. I was gonna try to blank it out, but sorry.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
All right, for those online,
Yeah.
we'll,
There's a quiz.
we'll be back, yeah, that's right. We'll be back in 15 minutes, but you can hang out right here.
Come on out in the hall and get a sandwich.
Yeah, it's 1:31, welcome back. How was lunch?
Yeah.
Delicious,
Yeah, I've never had a bad lunch.
right?
So, I hope everyone in mind so good lunch too. We're just gonna kick it right back off with you, buddy.
Okay. Cool. All right. It's me again. Liars. That's it. Tell me more. All right. Hey, real quick, just for the facilitator and me, just wanted to hear, we've heard a lot today. Matt talked about, I was taking a lot of notes of what Matt was saying. It does align with a lot of things I wanted to share. But doesn't mean that you took all that stuff away. For yourself, what's a reflection moment? What's something so far you've heard today, big or small, doesn't matter to me, that you're interested in pursuing a little bit more? Maybe it was an aha, I doubt it. Maybe it was an oh, yeah, possibly. But what was that thing? What's the one thing that stuck out in your head so far? And maybe it wasn't even for me. I don't care about that.
Maybe it's because this is something that I've been exploring myself in the last couple of weeks, but you talked a little bit about what keeps us from actually self-actualizing or going after the things. And recently I learned that one of the primary functions, if not the primary function of our brain, is to keep us alive, and it uses fear to do that.
Yeah.
And so what I've learned is when I feel fear about being in my comfort zone, I remind myself that that is just my brain reminding me to stay safe. And I kind of say, okay, I will, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Absolutely.
And it has helped me.
What a great debate that you're having in your mind. It's never going to always be the layup, friends. You're going to be faced with barriers and obstacles constantly. I wish I had the magic pill to tell you, but they're not. So manually stepping in and checking in on yourself. If you're not doing it, who is? You may have people to do that for you, but are they doing it enough in the right moment, saying the right things to do this? I haven't found that person, right? Only we can crack that code on ourselves. And even again, going back to our brains, we are a tough client up in there. So thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Yeah.
When I went to choose my gift up there,
Yeah.
I chose the scarf here that says joy.
I love that.
And my, like you do, I get teary-eyed about it. Just when a buyer finds the house that they really want, you can see it in their face.
Yeah.
The joy hits, and that's what feeds me.
Right. I love that. How many of you have had a client like that? Where literally so the emotion of it, the life-changing piece of it. I was coming out of a showing one time. I was working with buyers, and it was an elderly couple, and we come out of the house and we're laughing, no surprise, right? We're laughing, having a good time. I'm walking them down the driveway. They're driving a big truck. I'm helping them get into the truck. And there was people standing on the driveway. And this was way pre-COVID, but I was like, oh, they're being kind. They're not like kicking in the door while we're in there. They're giving us their space. And I'm getting them in there. And we're getting out to go to the next truck. I mean, next showing. And I turn around and there's two big dudes standing like looming over me. And they're like, hey, you a realtor? I'm like, yeah. They're like, can we have your car because ours sucks? And I'm like, Yeah. I go, I can't, I gave the whole spiel. I mean, I'd love to work with you, but, they're like, oh, no. We're firing our realtor. We'll call you at 5 o'clock. I'm like, sure you will. 5:05, my phone rings and it's them. We terminated it because they had a bad experience, but they were so thankful. And the reason bringing this story full circle is because I helped them do what others would not help them do, or in some situations where clients could not help them do. And I love that, like changing lives. I helped two brothers buy a home. One of them had a daughter, and they were going to live together and help raise, the niece, the daughter, and they were going to do it as a family. I thought that was cool, and it was like nobody was helping them, and I was the person to help them. So I love that give back piece. I have 3 personal / professional pillars in my world of that you care: work hard, give back, empower others. So when I see empower, of course, that rings a bell with me, but those are my 3. So give back is huge for me. I love, by the way, giving it up for all of you, that great give back piece. I saw you guys building those baskets upstairs this morning. Super awesome. All right, what else? Before I get all emotional, steamy, and then I need a hug from Matt, but I need a reason. All right. Anybody else? Takeaway. What you gonna do with what we've talked about so far? Forget about it. You're going to treat it like I do my event backpack. You know what I'm talking about? You go to a great national event. You come into a room like this. You get all jazzed up. You're like, yeah. You put stuff in your backpack, information. You take it home, right back in your lane. And then you get ready for the next event. You get that backpack ready, and you open it up, and you're like, oh yeah. Well, you have the choice. Whatever you decide. I hope that you found some value in it. But let's move forward. So, bringing things my full circle, we talked about the brain and how the brain can get in our way. I start with the brain because it can also stop with the brain. We talked about that. I don't have the easy solutions for everybody's brain in this room, but I can tell you how I deal with my own. I can relate to those challenges, so I share them with you. I talked about that goal, right? Now that my brain is moving in the right direction, what do I want from my business? That's where I said, listen, you'll come out and do your own business plan and all that, but what's the number? Because most people know the number that I've ever spoken with. They all know the number. But when I ask them, what do you do tomorrow when you wake up to go get that number 12 months from now? They don't have a plan. They say, well, I'm going to work harder. They say, well, I know you a little bit. I think you're working pretty hard as it is. And if hard work is all it's going to take, why didn't you get that goal this year? They don't have an answer for me. They say, okay, I think it might take more than just hard work. Yes, that's a piece of the equation, but what are you going to be working hard on? And so then we talked about sphere. Right? Everybody told me, you told me your best source of business is your sphere. Nobody said otherwise. Okay, great. What are you doing with it? I shared some perspectives about the 1 to 3 touches. How can you get there? 6,000 touches potentially in 1 month. That's ridiculous. Most people won't do it. But if you talk to some of these real expensive coaches, I'm not going to say their name. Some of them are like, oh, you should make 100 contacts a day. You know why they tell you that? Because they know you won't make 100 contacts a day, but they figure if you get as many in as you could, that's better. So they have you focus on the treadmill, right? Distance, time, whatever, but they know you won't get there. I don't know why they tell you to do that. I think your goals should be attainable. SMART goal. You guys ever remember that? SMART goal setting? Yeah. It needs to be attainable. That's important. If it's not, then you're not going to get it. I love having something just outside my grasp, but sometimes for me, my brain, I need to be able to actually grab it. I want to be able to feel it, tangible. So how will you get there with your sphere? Well, sphere, everything revolves around the sphere. But I also know there's levels. I don't look at a sphere as circular as a globe. I look at it as a dartboard. Right? You got rings. And that bullseye are the people that I can call, and they're going to show up with a shovel, and they're not going to ask questions. But there's a lot of other. That was funny, by the way. No. Say that? Yeah, I actually have to do that, but I'm going to look. But there's rings, right? So the pizza person ends up in the gathering, I guess. But the point is, I have access to be able to lean into them, and you do too, from what you told me. Let's bring it home a little bit and talk about social media. Again, my disclaimer: I am not, and nor have I ever considered myself a social media expert. Learned, I failed, and that's where I've learned is through doing and not doing. So I'm going to share a few things with you because I believe that social media is a great platform for you to make this sphere, this world that you live in, a little bit smaller and give you more access to that dartboard that I'm talking about. So let's talk about it. How many of you no judgment for me because listen, you look at my Facebook account, you'll see I'm hardly ever in there personally, and I'm not in there much professionally anymore because that's not where I'm gaining my business from. If you're gaining your business from people that know you, like you, trust you, you need to have presence in these places where they go. So you need to go to church or whatever the things are where you see people in person. But if you're trying to make the world just a little bit smaller, you need to lean into the interweb and start to look at what can I do with that. How much does social media cost? Free. Well, it costs time. Time is money. But can I automate some of the social media and save a little time? Yeah. If I wanted to boost Matt talked about Boost, which is a third-party platform that you can connect things like your Moxie presentations to if you wanted to reach out further to the old web and make it a little bit easier for you, but it takes work. But you can do these things. So talk social. How many of you are active social users? All 4 of you. That's an increase over the last time. Okay. All right. How many of you are using it for business? See, I'm happy with that. A lot more hands went up. That's good. Same. But going back to what I promised, we talked about whatever that split number is percentage wise. This is what you could lean into. Fine, if you're not going to use social media, then 8 out of 10 times you're talking with somebody, the language you're using should be focused on where you want your business to come from. So if I want 80% of my business to be listings, I should be speaking the language of listings. And here's why I say that. So I got a good chance to chat a lot with you before we came into this room. And, I get asked the question, do you travel a lot? And I do at times. But every time I do, I stay in hotel beds. And what do you guys think of hotel beds? Love it? Leave it?
Leave it.
Leave it. They're never comfortable for me. And I dropped, I hinted some things. I slept in a tent for 6 months and I did all kinds of action sports. And listen, my body's beat up. I know it doesn't look like this physique is beat up, but it is. Trust me. So when I wake up, I feel like a pretzel is how I describe my back. And so every time I travel, my back hurts. My back hurts right now while I'm bragging about it. So does anybody have a good name of a good dentist? No? Why is everybody laughing? Well, some people are laughing. Some people are
Mike's
yes. What?
Mike Leonard.
Mike Leonard's a good dentist? Is he going to be able to help in the back? Why not? He's a doctor. Right? He'll tell you he's a doctor. I'm a doctor. No, you're a dentist. Well, bottom line is, right, the reason why there was that awkward pause and people are looking at me and trying to give me some fake humor is because you don't need a dentist to fix your back, do you? Even though they are a doctor, who do you need? I need to fix my back. Chiropractor, a specialist. My friends, when you're in social media or talking with your people, how are you showing up? Are you showing up as a generalist or are you showing up as a specialist? Here's the difference. For all your real estate needs, call me. I got you. Right? That's a generalist. Versus if you're thinking about selling your home and you'd like to know my 21 steps how I help people sell their home for the most amount of money in today's market, call me today. If you were, and I know you said this, the home is the most we say, and he's right. And I'm like, shit, I say that. Now I got to say something different. No, I'm going to echo it. I say that the home for most consumers is the biggest, most expensive transaction the average human will go through. Do you agree? That's right. But it is, in fact, even more so the most emotional transaction. Where are my commercial people in here? A lot less. Agree? Bottom line, what's the numbers? Versus I'm selling my castle, my sanctuary, where all the stories unfolded. And it's very emotional. And guess what? It gets emotional for the clients too. That means it's emotional for you. Okay. So where are we at? So if you want to be the generalist, great. For all your real estate needs, call me. Love it. But when my back hurts, I don't need a dentist. I need a doctor. I need a chiropractor to be specific. So looking back at your number, is 8 out of 10 of your future posts going to have the words or the scripts written just sound like you are a specialist, or are you going to be the generalist? But here's the best news, friends. Why not have both? Why not have a generalist post, catch all, 50-50, don't care where the deals are coming from, but I'd actually like to have more listings this year. So now I'm going to speak the language of listings. Who wants listings? Raise your hand. Let's get engaging. Okay, a good part of the room. If you raised your hand and you're on social media, raise your hand again. About the same group. Great. How bad do you want listings? Are you focused on this? Two hands in the floor. It's very flexible. That was nice. Okay. So who really wants it though? I saw one, but do you really want it? Or are you just like, yeah, listings would be kind of cool, but at the end of the day, I'll just take what I want. I'll get what I can take what I can get, I should say. Anybody? You want it really bad? You want an 8 out of 10 bad? Two hands in the air. She was waving them because she really does care. So, all right, let's do this. Everybody, this will be fun. Grab your phone and go to your favorite social media place where you told me you were posting for business and count how many posts you did before you come across your first business post. For some of you, it might be one. How many posts before you get to your first your last business verbiage post? How many?
6.
6. Okay. Anybody else? 1. Nice. What month was it? Today?
Yep.
Bonus
The business post?
Yep.
October 30th.
of this year?
We just talked about
So no, I'm not even poking fun because I did this activity in a space like this. I think it was in April, and guy in the back waves and he says it was February. I'm like, February? Okay, February, March. Here it is 60 days. No, the year before. He was also one of the ones that said, yes, I want X business. Yes, it means a lot to me. Yes, it's make or break. I said, okay, let's take a look. All right. So you're now looking. It doesn't have to be every post, right? There's got to be a balance. I get it. We don't want to chase our friends away. But 8 out of 10 in some situations. So now start to correlate how much of that one side of business do you want and what were the last posts to help you get there? If I want listings, then can you tell me my last 6 posts were listings focused? Or was it like I shared something from NAR and then I said for all your real estate needs, and then I did this cool little cutesy post about what you can do in the holidays? It's okay. I love all that stuff, right? Real estate, non-real estate post. But again, being tactical with what you're trying to do. Put the pieces together. I help people all the time. But what I try to help them do is align with what they're doing with where they're trying to go. And it doesn't always seem that way. Sometimes they're doing this because it feels good. And it doesn't like you try to stretch it and maybe make it figure out how it kind of somewhat fits over here. That just means you're a good seller. But what are you doing? So when you look at that imaginary number, I ask you to write on a piece of paper, what are you doing tomorrow when you get there? If you're going to use your sphere and you're going to use social media, then why not? And I keep going into that 80-20 rule, that 8 out of 10 posts should be speaking the language that you want these people to hear. They don't want just a dentist. They want a specialist. Be the specialist that you already can be. But they don't know that yet because they don't eat and sleep and think about real estate the way that you do. You speak a whole language they don't understand. You've got to simplify it down for them and show them why you are the one. They say the average person knows multiple realtors in their database. Would you agree with that? Then how are you going to be the one that that person picks out of all the other people that are also in the same business as you? Because right now you're just a generalist to them until you can define your value and what you can share and show with them. And the beautiful thing is you can still do both. 2 out of 10 posts should be buyer related. And then any other posts I do can be generalized, value driven, whatever you want that to be. So the good news is it's actually opening up more opportunity for you to do what? Have multiple touches with your people. Because apparently that's important. So let's have some fun. Everybody that we can flip it and talk buyer side. Are there anybody that prefers to be buyer side in the room? Yeah. Let's stick with listings then. All the people in the way back. Yeah, none of them. All right, fair enough. All right, then let's focus on listings. So now I challenge you to go, because you told me listings, go into your social posts and tell me, I want somebody to be brave enough to read what their last business post was out loud to the group. Who's willing to do it? Okay, thank you, by the way. Yeah,
What a wonderful deal to close out 2025. Love helping a young family finding a home. Love.
give that up. Yeah, that's good. Oh, who did she speak to?
Buyers.
Yeah. So there's your 2 out of 10, right? Who has a listings one? How many far back do you have to go to find a listings voiced verbiage post? I did this very activity with somebody, and she was like, I'm listings. And I said, okay, will you find your last post? She said, yes. She pulled it out, and her niche was golf course community. Her post was, can't you imagine yourself living in this beautiful home? It was her listing. Can't you imagine yourself living in this beautiful home in this great golf course community? Contact me today. I said, who are you appealing to? She said, sellers. Is that who she was appealing to? No. And she was like, oh. And guess what? True story. I hope somebody reaches out to me after that event, just like this, within 2 days. That actually some of them were shifting their verbiage. They were multitasking in the class. Reached out to me 2 days later and said, I got a listing from changing my verbiage.
So how would you have changed that golf listing?
Somebody help me write it. I'm not AI. What would you say if you had a golf course listing community and you have a listing? What would you say to attract more listings in that scenario? Make it up as you go. What would you say?
It's important to sell the lifestyle as much as the home.
Yeah, if you'd like to learn about if you're considering selling your home, let me share with you what I'm doing to help this market this beautiful golf course community home.
Don't market this lifestyle.
Market the lifestyle, even better. What else could you say? That's one way. That's his way. What's your way? Okay. Well, I encourage you, if you don't know, then go to your last listing, whatever you posted about it. Probably looking for buyers. Let's try to step past that. But what will you do? What can you say to attract more sellers with your listing? That's the idea. What can I say in with a random post? And how does anybody remember what your first post? I remember my first social media post, and not with MySpace. I mean, fast forwarding to 1999 in real estate, but that was internet was not my friend back then. You remember your first post when you're first starting to promote your business? How many of you took a picture of your business card and put it on your social site and said, for all your real estate needs, call me? Is it just me? Yeah, yes, I should have learned from you guys a little bit. So don't be that guy, or be that guy, but be more than that guy, because you're way more than that business card. That business card has 0 likes, well, except for my mom. But the bottom line is, like, who are you going after? You got to be tactical with this. So who's willing to share their most recent listing post? Come on now, don't be afraid. Like that part. Yeah. What's it say?
It's a video walkthrough of a house we just renovated in Golden Valley.
And what were you trying to do with that post?
Let people know that I'm in real estate.
What did it say exactly?
I
So paraphrase.
I sell $975,000 homes that I help renovate.
Was there a call to action on that?
No.
Just exclamation point. Bang!
I will say this though, since I started doing these videos,
Yeah.
my business has definitely picked up.
Love it. Why? Why do you think it's picking up?
Because it's videos and people like to watch videos of homes. Somebody once said there's 3 or 4 things on the internet that people look at: food, houses, and the third one we don't want to talk about.
Tell me more. What is it? You never told me. Like, maybe there's a third number, so I need to look into it. Bottom line, though, I love it, right? You're giving that testimonial, right? I mean, yeah, there's always things you can tweet, call to action, call me today, find out more, click here, whatever. But it's working for you. So maybe I don't have to break it. How many of your social medias are working for you, getting the business that you want? Yeah.
I'm guilty that I don't do a lot of social media,
Okay.
but where would I be able to go to get ideas?
Help us out. I'm asking for a friend. Carla, give it up for Carla, everybody. Right. Hey, you know what? You're fortunate to have a person. Not all brokerages that I work with have a person. So good for you. If you haven't met her, you should. She's somewhat okay. Yeah, judge is still on. All right. So that's what I'm trying to say. You know, I get it. Nobody wants to be vulnerable. You don't have to read it out loud if you don't want to, but go back through your posts. Tell me the one. How far back did you go in order to get to where you're trying to be? If you are actively trying to make the majority of your future business one side or the other, can you back it up with the activities that you're doing? And even if you are a 50-50 split, good. 5 post seller, 5 post buyer, 5 post whatever else you want. But nobody's brought it up yet. Let me give you a little bit of extra perspective. 2 sides, because I saw a small amount of engagement when I asked about the personal Facebook page. You have a personal page and a business page. Should they be separated? Or do you have the same friend who's on your personal page, follows your business page, follows your Instagram page, follows your TikTok, and you're doing one post and cross-posting it the same thing across all of your media sources? I know plenty of people that do that because they make it easy to do that. Is that the best way to do it? Why? What could happen? You say no. What could be a downside to doing it that way?
It looks like you hired a firm to post for you.
Could be less authentic, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I'm also following you on multiple platforms, hearing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Eventually, I stop listening. And then I start to unsubscribe. You don't want that, do you? No, you're trying to grow your exposure, not reduce it. So there is a formula. I don't know how accurate it is. It kind of makes sense to me, but it's the 20% rule. That's how I remember it. If you are engaging with your people on a personal page, then 20% of your personal posts, or excuse me, on your personal post, sorry, right again, hold on. 20% of your personal page should have a business post on it. That's a 1 in 5 rule. So 1 out of 5 posts on your personal page could be business related. It's also the same formula on your business page, but it's reversed. 20% rule, 1 in 5. 1 in 5 posts on your business page could be personal. Why? Why do you want to have just a smidge of personal in your business page?
Humanize.
Humanize it. We're not robots. In fact, it's the personal connections that make you relatable that brings you the business in the first place. And if you don't know that, now you do. So whether you do it or not, that's up to you. But 20%. That means if I have a personal page and a business page, that means personal page, I'm going to seek out 1 business post, and maybe the call to action is direct them to my business page to learn more. Instead of just stuffing the same thing down their throats across the board, you'll lose people that way. Is 1 in 5 rule manageable for you? Could you do 1 business post on your personal page? Would you? Is the question. What's the answer? Will you? You will?
For sure. I think that the business pages should be different.
Should be easy to do.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to do a personal post on your business page? There's still some uncomfort for potentially there as well.
Sorry to sound stupid, but I'm a bit shoe fits. But if I'm on Facebook, which I'm not on that often, I can't ever remember going on a realtor's business page.
Right.
Why would I do that?
We want humans.
Yeah. Where does your website, and I'm curious, I really don't know this answer. Where do people land when you are promoting your business? On your personal page?
That's where they should for agents.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
What's that?
I've seen a lot of agents with pictures of keg stands and inappropriate things.
That's who they're going to get their business from. There's plenty of people that want to buy from.
Sleep naked don't mean I want to show up to work that way.
People want to buy from you.
Yeah.
I think
I
that
was asking, but you might be right. I mean, you are probably more of an expert than I am.
the same.
My disclaimer said otherwise.
I was asking the question.
Yeah.
I don't ever post on my business. Am I missing out on great
So I think the bigger difference, I'm just going to talk for 1 second, is that you guys are all people.
Yeah.
All of you are people, so your business page is a people page.
Yep.
The difference is that you're able to target and reach more with the business page that you're not able to do with the personal page.
Because what?
So because you can boost a
Websites and-
personal page, you can boost a business page.
Oh,
It's just the
good.
rules.
Oh,
So the difference is that is how you treat it. Everything is about what's coming, what you're putting on it, not what we're all seeing, because as a general consumer, we don't know the difference. We don't know if we're on your business page or your personal page. It's up to how you're managing your page and what you're posting. I do business with people, not businesses, so
Right.
make your business page seem like you.
And I love what you're saying, because I know that I would want to separate it, because I'm not trying to chase my audience away. And I like to do the personal stuff, but there's a time for business stuff too. If it's all jammed into one space in my mind, then they're always going there, seeing it all. And that's not what I want. I want to be targeted. I want to be purposeful with my intent. But that's just my opinion. And as I said, I am not a social media expert. I understand the 20% rule. I do understand that, and I agree with it. I also agree with keeping separation, but that's just my perspective, right? That's the whole piece, is what will you do? Will you have one ring to rule them all? That's great. If you want two, to be able to have separation and focus and intent, and give your audience two places to land. Maybe they want to go to personal and see more of the after hours Southie, or maybe they want to know what I do to make my clients so happy and successful. But they don't always want both. They may use one or the other to make a decision. But I have plenty of friends that started off as a business acquaintance. Well, they went from I knew of you to now I know you a little bit to help you with real estate, and now they come over to my house on Thanksgiving, and I play golf with them often, and we get into trouble together. So, I mean, so social media wise, again, leaving it up to you. I wish you guys, I just hope that you find the way that makes it right for you, impactful for you. You have a world of resources. You have marketing experts. You have powerful support infrastructure here. If you're not using it, well, I can't make you do it, but I can say shame on you, because I know I work with thousands of other real estate professionals, and they don't all have the resources that you guys have here. So think about what you're looking for from your business as you build out your plan. Be purposeful. Make sure your goals and actions align with one another, because otherwise you're just spinning your wheels and you're running on that treadmill with no finish line. And you will end up flying off the back or just giving up. And you're like, it doesn't work. I don't do social media because it doesn't work. And then you look into frequency and content and exposure, and you're like, well, no wonder. Right? But it's all in what you want to do. People look at it as an afterthought when it could be the first steps into reaching a larger audience. How many of you want to build or increase? We talked about database earlier. How many of you have an annual goal of increasing your database by X, whatever that number is? 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay. Yeah, I agree. You should. Especially if your sphere of influence is your greatest source of business. Because imagine, I've got this database right here, and I'm drawing upon it. I'm taking from it. It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. It doesn't go away, but it means those few individuals, if 100% of your business, 30 deals came from my sphere last year, that means 30 less deals in my database this year. Doesn't mean they can't refer me, but it means those 30 individuals no longer have a need for real estate. They can help me. They can refer me if they remember me, even though they're living in the house that I sold them, type of thing. So if you want to grow your database, how are you going to do that now? How did you grow your database, the one you have today? What did you do?
Use my phone.
Used your phone. Met people. Did the weird offer moments, right? Whatever that may be.
I went to the university address book.
Did you? Perfect. Love that. So you have resources, and if you're not leaning into them, if you're just taking from your number one resource and not adding to it, there used to be this old saying, show the size of your database, and I'll tell you how much business you can generate this year. Some of the numbers are still there, right? But there's a lot of variables. There's no one cut and dry formula. Everybody's different. But what do you want from your time? If you want more, I thought everybody raised their hand and said they want more of something this year. If it's more business, what type, how much more, what type are you really going after, and use your resources accordingly. Spread your budget, time, energy, everything appropriately. Doesn't mean it's going to be a crystal ball that it's going to guarantee what you have. It aligns what I said. I want to be listings focused. I want blank amount of deals. So blank percentage is going to align with that. Would you think that you would have a better chance of getting to your goal if you were focused on those things that you want and putting all of your energy and resource into it? Could it help you get there? Yes. Everybody shake your head. Yes. I promise it will. Because good or lucky, I'll take the win. But at the end of the day, my friends, luck runs out. And all you have left is the skills and the resources that you've activated to help you carry across the finish line that time. So that's what I got. Thanks. That's okay. And you too can have the business that you want. Subscribe today. Actually, I will do a shameless plug. Okay. There's a shameless plug. I will end on this note. Listen, I encourage all of you to get into the university. There's a world of learning in there. It is like a library unless you know where you want. If you know you can type in listing and it's going to pull up listings for you and show you the things that you can learn and develop on. It's not all going to be ahas. There will be some oh yes, but even better than that. How many do you guys all know each other in this room? No. So you should get to know your network here, but then come to some of our national sessions. You may already know everything that we're going to share with you. Great. Network with other people. Learn and build connections from Minnesota out to California and back and beyond. Because Mike Needler, CEO, president of C21, talks about this all the time. The power of the people. Great. You guys have a huge power in this room. But the university has great stuff in there. You can't break it. Play around with it. Find a class, a point of interest for your own self-development, and get in there. If it's listings, find something listening. If it's social media, find social media. If it's just a place to get re-energized and get that shot in the arm that you need to do the things you already know you need to do, you can get that here too. So check into the university, and maybe I'll see you around some of the classes. I'll be a little bit smaller. Now, awesome.
Oh, I can't follow that. So
you can.
But honestly, it's pretty awesome that you hopped on a plane and flew into this nightmare of a blizzard. Stayed in a hotel. I'm with you.
Only brought shorts.
By the way, I guarantee it. Correct me if I'm wrong. When you said people could show up with a shovel and don't ask questions, everyone in this room thought snow shovel.
Right. That's exactly what you should be thinking.
That's this room, but helping you shovel the sidewalk.
And they never ask questions.
Yeah. Welcome to Minnesota. So anyway, thanks for doing all that. Appreciate it. All right. Now we're going to get into some meat and potatoes, but there was one thing I was thinking about while you were talking, because I didn't mean to downplay. It is the transaction most people will do in their lifetime, right? And I always say, stop treating it like stock, but let's pretend it's stock for a second, because it kind of is, right? You own stock in this market. Let's pretend it is for a second. What if you had $500,000 riding on some stock on Wall Street? And your nephew says, hey, I just learned about this. I passed some little course and I can help you with that now. And you go, great, go ahead and trade it. You wouldn't do that in a million years. You'd go find the best you'd go find the best stockbroker you could, right? And yet we have this emotional thing that just shows you how powerful the emotion is behind homes, that people are willing to forget the fact that they're basically doing a stock strategy with their home and just go with a little nephew who just passed the test. I mean, that's how emotionally tied to it they are, because they sometimes forget. I actually saw a post that was like, oh, you're taking the biggest transaction you ever will have in your life and you're handing it to your newly licensed nephew. Great strategy. Anyway, so use that as a post. Okay, we are going to run through some of these here real quick. And again, this is your time to set goals. Okay. And we are actually going to show you a tool that essentially Atwood invested in, that you not only just write your goal down, because Adam hit the nail on the head. Sometimes we put this in our backpack and you're, yay, I did it. And then sometime next December, we'll pull it out and go, oh, yeah, I said I was going to do a thing. So we have a new tool for you that will, you can log into every day, see where you're at, see how it's going. Not just that, but then reach out to us and say, hey, I'm one deal behind on my goal. And first, we're going to celebrate you. And then two, we're going to say, how can we help? Right. Or if you hit it early, then we'll all go to Cabo. Hit it early. Hit it early.
You're going to Cabo.
Before we get there, I just wanted to mention a few things that are on the back of this sheet real quick, because I think this is pretty cool. So I want you to have this in your mind as we're talking about goals as well. So first is Moxie Rise. I was talking to a couple of people at lunch about this, but Moxie Rise is not a whole new Moxie. Okay? Moxie Rise is taking all the pieces of Moxie and just making it a lot easier to connect all the things within Moxie, right? There's engage and there's present and there's, right? So, so it's just making it a little bit more streamlined for you instead of going to the different portals. It's all kind of all encompassing. Did I say that okay, Carla?
You did great.
The next is something that all agents all over the country drool over and are trying to figure out and are doing their darndest creating the most awful looking marketing you've ever seen in Canva. And Century 21 has gifted us Canva Enterprise, the greatest, biggest thing. And they have a whole team of people who are designing world-class templates in there for you for free. So that's pretty incredible. I hate using that word free, but anyway. And then they've also designed some updated landing pages within Moxie websites, including new buyer and seller pages. So that'll, I don't know that that'll magically appear in your website. I think you have to go in. Yeah. So can head over into Moxie and add those buyer and seller pages. And it all helps with helping you get found and keeping people engaged in your page. The next one, I swear, is the best kept secret in all of real estate. It shouldn't be a secret because the preferred client club is like magic sauce. It is, I love it. And do you remember back in 2002, when you got an email and you're like, I just got mail through the internet. And it was incredible. Right? And you're like, I can't believe this. I'm going to email them back. And it was like, wow. And now you're like, this thing, it won't stop. Right? And now you get something in the mail and you're like, oh. And then you put it on your pillow and you lay with it for a while, right? Because having something in the actual physical mail is like something special again, right? Your client club is. And by the way, it's real tangible, some like really real estate relevant, some just cards, right? But it's all those things that Adam was talking about, like all of these you have to do all these contacts every month, all the time. Set it and forget it for a while. Like let other things do the work for you. Those things that all the other agents are doing non-income producing activities, sitting behind the desk going, okay, I got to create a calendar now. And they're literally creating a calendar. You can do this. Not only will it just do it all for you, it'll put your photo and name and phone number and email address on it and send it off to all your people. And I can't believe they're still in business for how cheap it is. Because we know how expensive printing is, right? We almost went bankrupt making these sheets. And they're sending out a magazine and cards and a calendar, and it's amazing. I just heard, I was at an event, and someone said, everyone talks about how they send these to all of their past clients. I'm like, yeah, we have a lot of our agents do, all their past clients. Great, you transacted with me, now you get preferred client club. And somebody else is like, you are missing out on such an enormous opportunity. I send it to every dentist's office. I send it to every business in town. I send it to because they display the magazine out. Oh, they love magazines, right? They set them out. It's got your information on it. And they're sending it to people constantly that are not even their clients. They're saying it to other businesses and things. And it is really, I mean, it's a great investment. And then the last thing on your page is brand spanking new, and you here and online get to be the first in the whole company to learn about this new thing that we just created. It's actually not even fully live yet, is it? Linda. It's like almost there, but it is called Atwood Generations. We're really proud of the name because we're a generational company, but it's also a way for people to generate income. So we have this new company called Atwood Generations, and that is, again, it is to help support the goals of our agents. Okay, it is an option. So what it is if business is really slowed down and you said, I just need to not do this business right now, but I want to get back into it next year or something. You just need to take a little pause. You can move your license over into Atwood Generations, and now you're not just walking away from all your business. You can continue to refer out, but you don't have all the realtor dues and MLS dues and all that stuff. You're still a licensed agent, but you're not part of all the other stuff. You're not representing people. You don't have franchise fees. You don't have any, it's a totally separate thing, but you still get referral business. And all of those people who have built generations of business in their sphere, who have been in this industry for 40 years, and then they retire and just walk away from all that. We want to help protect those people that are looking to retire, so they can retire into this company. All they have to do is maintain a license, but none of the dues, none of the franchise stuff. They can come in here, refer business out, and still make an income for the rest of their. Sound good? So that's a brand new company that we just created. So we're really excited about that. All right. Okay, let's talk about business planning. So we're going to cover that top section in just a second, but I want to talk about what are you going to focus on in 2026. You kind of heard us talk about it a little bit during our Team Appreciation Month in November, all about a gratitude mindset, a positive mindset. It's really, really cheesy, you guys, but I believe that my day will go however I choose it to go. So when you're talking about you had a 12-hour workday and 1 hour went wrong and that's the only thing you can think about, that's because that's the pathway I'm choosing. I don't like to admit it. I don't ever want to admit it. I come home and I'm not a great dad to my kids. I'm like, don't worry, I'm choosing to be a jerk right now. Then I am, because I could just shift my mindset. Here's the thing. A lot of us are like, no. There's things outside of our control that can affect us. There are things outside of your control that can come at you, but how it affects you is up to you. And it is just like learning a language. I could go to Germany right now and have no idea what all these people are yelling about. And really, they're just saying good morning. But have you heard German? Right? My favorite word is ambulance, is Krankenwagen. Anyway, that's my favorite German word. But I could go there and think everybody's yelling at me all the time, and I could just be like, oh, I can't deal with it. But at some point, I'd be like, I have to learn the language, and it's going to be hard work. Okay? The same thing is true with learning a new mental language of gratitude and positivity, positive thinking, letting things not affect us. It's all in the super highways that we've built in our mind. So, number one, we could just say joy, but having that positive entrepreneurial mindset takes practice, but the more you practice it, the faster that super highway in your mind becomes. One day you'll just wake up, you'll put your feet on the floor and be like, I put my feet on the floor today. This is so great, I get to stand up. And I am until I come and go, oh my gosh, why did I sleep in this hotel? Right? Okay. Attend sales meetings and build industry and business knowledge and understanding. And more importantly for me, relationships. We had a sales meeting recently and I attended, and we went to Happy Chef. It's the first time I've been to that restaurant in 30 years. And my whole agenda, I just wanted to throw away because we were just sitting in like fellowship. It was amazing. We just talked about whatever. So sales meetings can be that too. We need to cover things. We need to make sure we're providing knowledge and value, but at the same time, lean into this amazing network of people because it is invaluable. Understand the market in my area and be able to explain it confidently. We always like to say we're not about having the most agents, we're about having the best agents and really professional agents. who understand what's going on and people know to reach out to us. Have an updated listing consultation and process. Let us help you with that. Let us help you knock it out of the park. Because nothing will make us happier than when you call us and say, they think I'm a genius. And I'm like, great. Have an updated buyer consultation process. Nurture my database of people and have a follow-up plan for each group. Let us help you with that. Goal that I keep top of mind, we're going to work on that. And intentional focus on connecting with people weekly and having real estate conversations, I think is so incredibly important. All right. You all got a piece of paper, right? From Carla. You all got a piece of paper, that one, a printout, maybe.
I think we have to get you yours. We have to get, I'll email you some.
If you want, but I have one. Leslie has yours.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
Email.
thank you, Linda. Thank you.
Thank you. So y'all have a piece of paper. That is your year-to-date so far. Yep.
Okay, cool.
By the way, worst business owner on the planet who says, if your goal is to decrease in business, that's great. Let us help you. I should be the guy that's like, hey, everybody, we're going to have a rally here this year. Okay, we're going to get up there. We're going to kill it. Is everybody committed to killing it? Please tell us what your goal is, truthfully, attainably. If it is more, how can we help? If it is less, how can we help with that and still help you eat? That's what I worry about the most. Is everybody eating? Okay. So in here, we're just going to write down AGC, that's adjusted gross commissions, new listings, your net commission, your pending deals, your volume, and your close sides. Do I have a volunteer? By the way, isn't this a weird industry? Like if you open up a floral boutique and people are like, so how's business? You could be like, well, best year I ever had. And they wouldn't know. But in our business, everyone knows. I could go on and, I mean, people could, in Florida, could see how you're doing here in Minnesota. You know that? Well, there's actually other people. You can also check the MLS, see how their other agents are doing, what their business is, how much money they're making. It's crazy. So do I have a volunteer who's willing to let me put on the screen how their 2025 went and show how we set goals for 2026? Come on.
Sure.
Are you? Sure. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Dean.
You're the best.
I do this is I teach this class at Kaplan or used to, and it sucks when nobody contributes.
No pressure. Oh yeah. You'll definitely get some swag. All right. Let me pull this over to the other screen.
Contributed the most of all the classes I taught.
Nice. Swag. All right, let me go to here and pull this over here. Okay, everyone know how to get into Darwin? Yes, you do. It's your favorite thing. Okay, we're going to come into Darwin. I should really be like dueling this, so I'm not looking this way, but mine is going to look just ever so slightly different than yours. I told you I was. All right. Okay, here's how Dean did this year. Okay, thanks, Dean, for letting. You want to pick up some more swag?
I'm good. I would like to add, though, I have 2 colas, so that 5 should be 7. But anyways, yes.
Linda, get on. Okay, so all of you can do this. All of your stuff is in here. Okay. By the way, there is so much more that this program does. So much more. But today we're just going to focus on goals. Okay, your current business and your goals. There are ways that you can upload photos through this. There's ways you can communicate with sellers and buyers through this. There's all sorts of things. But today we're just going to show you this one little piece of the corner of Darwin. All right. You can even register for 121 through our group discount through Darwin. It's really great. Leslie. Yep. Click on. No, I have to go this way. I don't know. Click on store. Someone discovered chat the other day, and all of a sudden Michael was like, "Oh my gosh, I got a chat!" So it was fun. Okay. So we gave you a printout so that you have this information. But the thing you're going to click on is right up here, add goals. By the way, if you've been with us for a while, you can come in here and say, I want to see last year or the last 12 months, right? Last 12 months basically just takes, it would be November to November, to December yet. Okay. But anyway, we'll click on add goals and we're going to set the goal over here for 2026. Do you have a printout?
Yes.
Yeah.
Darwin.
Okay. Darwin.cloud. Keep kicking that thing. Dean, what's your adjusted gross commission income? Not your net, but your gross
That I'm shooting
goal.
100. It's a nice big round number.
Ooh, it is a big rev number. 100,000. Okay. Now, hopefully this works live. It never actually, whenever you do things live, it won't work. It's like when you practice it the 10 times like we did yesterday, it did. But $100,000 is his gross commission goal. Okay. Now, when I hit the little circle, and you can do this yourself. 100,000 divided by 12, it'll look at your past business and say, you know, January, a little bit more business, stuff that was still closing out from the work you did in December. February, not as much business. March, you did more business. So it's using your past business to come up with about where you're going to land each month going forward. Now you can come in and you can adjust each one of these things, but it's using an algorithm to determine what your year probably would look like. Again, you can change anything you want at that. Okay.
March through June makes sense.
Number of new listings, Dean. What's your goal?
What did I put 6, but maybe that's a list just on the listing side. Yeah, 6.
8 year to date. So hopefully
10.
Yes. Well, but those I have those.
yeah, this is your goal for next year. So you have 8 this year to date. So next year, all of 2026, you want
6 more listings, but I have buyers too.
Yeah. Okay. So you've already exceeded your goal for this year, is what you're saying. You have 8 this year. You want 6 next year. Okay.
I'm starting out 2026 much stronger than I started out 2025.
Okay. So all of 2026, you want 6 listings.
Listings, yes.
Okay. Got it. 6 listings. So to use that same algorithm to determine what months you probably want to get those. Net commissions, what's your goal?
80,000.
Okay. New pending deals. Number of contracts you'll write each month, not necessarily
8.
Okay.
Maybe that should be 10. Change that to 10.
Okay. Volume.
Well, I put 3 to 5 million, so let's put 4 then, because can't put a range in, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
And closed sides. Total. Buyers and sellers. 10 closed sides. See, he's going to close 100% of the deals he writes. How's that for positive thinking? That's great. Okay. So it uses these algorithms to kind of determine about where it will fall. Again, you can update any one of those that you want, and then you'll just click save in the lower left-hand corner. Okay. Now, as we go into next year, we could actually go back and add goals for 2025 too. But you'll see on each of these how you're doing your AGCI versus goal, your net versus goal, your by month versus goal, your net by month versus goal. Get it? And as I scroll down here, you can see new listings, new pendings, your volume. Again, I'm still on this year. If I change it to next year, it'll show nothing. But does that make sense? Okay. So this gives you a portal in which you can take action. and say, here's how I'm doing month to month on my goal. Okay.
This is also something that's updated like it's very up to date to time with the MLS and when things go in MLS.
Mm-hmm.
So at any time of any day, you can log in. This could be your tool.
Yeah. So our goal is that we have everyone's goals in here so that we can also help you with that.
So did you just do mine for me or do I need to?
I just did it for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
If you volunteer, the work's done.
the work's done. But do you see how long that took me?
What is,
Yeah.
so what is kind of a reasonable percentage increase or what it is, something like that?
Come pick out a swag. Come pick out a swag.
Absolutely.
so that's the story I was told. I believe with the Keller Williams people, it was always 40 transactions. It must be in the class. It's always 40. Like, and a lot of the people did like 2 to 5. That's a really big increase.
That's why more people are living back up in companies in the country. Yep. That's okay. Here's why she gets swag, because she teed up the next part of this any better for me. It was like we rehearsed it at lunch. But we didn't, right? Okay. Next thing we're going to look at. Been to and know and love 21 Online, right? Yes, Matt, we love 21 Online. Thank you for everything that you do. Here's a hug. Okay. Yes, it's me. You seriously could not have done this any better for me. You're the best. Okay. When you come to 21 Online, because I know sitting here right now, you're like, what should my goal be? I don't want to say, hey, we'll do 300 new listings. Does that seem right? I don't know. Because we want to make sure that they're achievable. So we're going to come into 21 Online, and forgive me, Adam, I don't know. Like I know the hamburger menu and where you can go find, but sometimes I just can't find things. So I just type it in. Goals or business planning. That's what I want. Business planning. Sales associate business planning tool. This is for you. This is for you. This is for everybody. So right up in the top, just type in business planning tool. You're looking for the sales associate business planning tool. And this is something that our genius friends at C21 created for us. And this is where you can come in to say, okay, this is going to guide me to what I need to set my goals. Okay. So we're going to select the start month and year. So we're going to say it's going to be January of 2026. That's really small. Can I? A little bit. January of 2026. How many days do you plan on working during this period? And then it gives you 220 is a normal work year. Who here is normal? Okay, great. I'm glad we've established that. So I'll say 250 because that's what I work. I don't know. I have no idea. What is your desired income in this period? I don't know. I want to make $100,000. Wouldn't that be fun? What is your average home sale price in your area? What is it, 350? What's your 350? Says the guy in a tent. His tent was 350. What is your office average commission percentage per side? By the way, has anyone seen this go up since the lawsuit? Personally? Yes. I'm watching it happen to a lot of you. I'm going, man, since this whole lawsuit about how agents make too much, I'm watching all their commissions start to go up. So apparently it wasn't a real problem. But who made the most money? The attorneys. Okay, what is your office average commission per side? Should we say 3? Okay. What percentage of your commission brokerage split is yours? Just you and Dean. We'll say 90%. Okay, what percent of open sides do you close? Dean closes 100%. We're going to say 90%. What percentage of your total sides are closed? Are buyer sides? We're doing 50-50 back here. Who buyer sides? Should we say 30%? No, buyer side. Listing, you guys. Okay, we'll say 40. And what percentage of your listings go to contract? We'll say 90% of those. Again, this is your information, so just look back at your business. You can also guess. On average, how many contacts do you need to meet to result in one closing? So now you're going to have to spend a little bit of time. How many people do I contact, which results in how many appointments, which results in how many closings? So the national example is 90. They have to make 90 contacts in order to get one closing. We're more likable here, so we're going to say 25. Continue to step 2. Now we can do our closing seasonality. Now this Darwin is plugged in to what you've been doing month to month. This isn't, but we can come through and we can say, yeah, January, we'll say 5%, and February is maybe 5%, and March, is maybe 5%. April is 15%, right? So you can go through here, make sure that it equals 100%, by the way. 10 and 7, I don't know, I'm making them up now. And July is when I go on vacation, so that's 2%. It's my own fault. And then I do a whole bunch in August. I do 25% of my business in August. And then 10, I don't know. And then 10 and 4 and 2. Okay, I made it up. So you're creating, what does your seasonality of business look like? Continue to step 3. We're going to download our full report. There's also some other reports you can do, but the full one combines them all. And internet doesn't work when people watch it, so everyone look away. Have you noticed that? It's like boiling water, yeah. There we go. I just had to point at it. All right. So now you've got this business planning guide for Matthew Atwood. Isn't that pretty? Here's my information, my daily contacts. I need to make 1 daily contact based on what I said. My yearly contacts is going to be 250. My total side's open, and it's starting to just give me what I need to do in order to hit those things that I said I needed to do. I kind of like this. This is kind of my favorite. Value of time and contacts. Value of a day is $400. How many of you think about that? Does anyone ever think about how much money you make an hour? It's actually probably 30 cents for how much we have to work, but value of an hour, 50.
If you take a normal work week with normal vacations and
Yep.
take the annual income, divide it by 2 is your hourly wage. So if you make $100 grand a year, it's $50 a month.
Yeah. Divided by 2,080. If you were to count that as a 40-hour work week, which, hello. Okay, so then this is listings by month forecast. This is probably what I'm going to get. So it's just taking all that information that I put in there. Sides by month, contacts by month. Look at that in August. In order to this, remember I said 25% of my business comes in August. Well, that means I need to make 75 contacts based on how many contacts I told it takes me to close one deal, which is low, but so this just helps you build out what you need to do and then gives you a little page on the end of here are things that I'm going to commit to this year. to achieve those goals. So business planning tool, it took me, by the way, anything you show that I'm showing on here, I did yours in like 4 minutes. And if you just go in and do it, it'll take you 1. This took me like, I don't know, 10 minutes, and you go on, it'll take you 3, right? So super quick and simple ways for you to start planning your business and share it. I mean, you will in Darwin because we can see whatever you put in Darwin. But if you want to share this too and be like, hey, how do I set 75 contacts or make 75 contacts? How do we do that in a month? Does that sound like terrifying to anybody?
Yeah.
Just me. Sounds terrible.
20 days a month, that's 3 a day.
Thank you for breaking that down. Come pick out a swag. I got it for you, so don't pick it up. Yeah, thank you. So like, but can you make 3 today? Yeah, it seems like, yeah, no problem. Right? Remember when I said focus on the little things? That's what I meant, right? Sometimes we look at that boulder and we're like, you know, I didn't have enough coffee today, so I'll get to that boulder tomorrow, right? You turn that boulder into owning the details, and now it's like, oh, I just gotta make 3 today. Simple, right? Carla, what do you got? You look like you're pacing, ready to go. Oh yeah, I forgot this one. And then last but not least, this is the new updated 2026 awards criteria from our friends at Century 21. So what we often see is that we are hitting we're hitting AGCs before we're hitting units, right? Like, in other words, we can hit 161,000 in AGC faster than we can hit 33 units in most cases. So, but those are the two goal columns for you to take a look at if you want one of your goals to be one of these. Now, that's not something you can put into Darwin and say, I want to be a Master's Diamond this year. That's not something you can put in there. But if you wouldn't mind, maybe just texting me and saying, Matt, I want to be a diamond this year. I'll be like, you're a diamond every day. But then I'll say, how can I help? And boy, will I celebrate you with like little animated GIFs and all sorts of things when you hit it, because I love that stuff. Okay. So put those goals into Darwin. If this, just text Matt and be like, Matt, I'm going to do this year. I'm going to commit to being a Ruby. So I'm here to help, and I will celebrate you the moment you hit it. Sometimes, in most cases, I know before you do because I track it.
So when you log into 21 Online, your homepage tells you your awards progress. It's just always 15 days late.
Yeah.
It gets behind. So don't like, oh, it's just not saying, and I know I did it, they just had a closing. 21 Online is just delayed, but we can also look at it because now you can look at Darwin and see what your total is. Right? Yeah. Darwin is up to date. 21 Online's got a 15-day because they're waiting for all of the offices in the world to close out before they post and update that for the previous month. So make sure to take a look because we're in December. It's December 9th. Okay, make sure to just look at your awards progress. Make sure it's matching on 21 Online, or if it's missing, and then let us know. We need to know by the end of the month to make any corrections. Okay. Just please note if you had any commercial transactions and you feel like your number is off, it could be commercial transactions. And please bring that to our attention. Commercial transactions don't automatically close in Dash. So we have to close those out. But let us know because we want to celebrate you and we don't want you to miss it because we didn't notify them. Good?
Yes, I agree. Let us know. Our favorite Christmas song. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. Centurion.
You know what I want to do, but not really because they're expensive. But
you know, when you I don't golf. I swing a thing and people think I'm golfing, but not golf. Okay. But I'm gonna say this wrong if anybody's correct me. The Masters,
yes,
Pro Masters, they did a green jacket, right? Okay, good. The what? The winner of the Masters, which is a tournament in golf, gets the Masters jacket. And I was talking to Michael, I was like, do you remember the gold jackets from Centurion Atwood? Right? What if Centurion's got a gold coat? Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they're part of the club. They attach us as master of everything.
George has one, but we have to take his away.
Yeah. No, he's starting it by now. So anyway, yeah, this is where she was saying you can come in and you can check on your award progress too. It is just late. So if at any point too, you're like, Matt, where I'm at, I'll let you know. How was today?
Great.
Anybody driving real far? Are you driving out today?
No.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's not very cold.
Yeah.
Stop.
Close this up.
Oh, gosh. Oh, it's gonna take me 3 hours to get home. No, if you guys would. Not because of me, because of everybody else.
Right.
Take the ditch.
What's that?
Take the ditch.
That's right. I got the new big tires. All right. Thank you all so much for coming. Don't forget to do your goals. Appreciate you. Love you. Thank you again. Everybody out.